Hello and welcome to day 3 of the first live qualifier of the Clash of Clans World Championships. It's Championship Sunday, and you know what that means. That means that today we are going to be giving out that first golden ticket to the winning clan, and they'll be going on to the World Finals to battle it out for that $1 million prize pool. My name is Banks, and I am your desk host, and it is my pleasure to introduce my two fellow casters. It is, of course, Woody and Carbon Finn.
Howdy, 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 y'all. I cannot wait to finally give out the first golden ticket. We've been waiting so long. But now the time has come. Carbon?
Oh, Woody, I am so excited. We have the final 4 teams here competing, like Banks said, for the $1 million prize pool. They're going to try to get that golden ticket. I cannot wait here.
We are going to be playing 2 playoff matches, and then we are going to have the final match, all of them being a best of 1. Let's take a quick look at the bracket, Carbon.
Yeah, and the very first match that we're going to be seeing is Tribe Gaming taking on Darkest MuZhan. Tribe Gaming has yet to lose here, but it's all evened up, and it's now a best of 1. Cannot wait. We also have an amazing match for the second game, Woody.
That is right. INTZ versus ATN.aTTax. INTZ boasts the best offense and defense rate at 80% on each, but ATN.aTTax has come in with a perfect war as well. It is going to be an absolute slugfest on the bottom of the bracket.
It is almost time to introduce our first 2 teams who are going to battle it out for that first position in that final. But first, we are going to head on over to Eric from One Hive, who's going to predict the first semi-final.
I'm Clash with Eric. So our next matchup is between Tribe Gaming and Darkest MuZhan. Let's talk about these teams. Let's talk about their past performance and try to predict who is going to win here and if they have the potential to go all the way and get the golden ticket to the World Championship. So Tribe Gaming taking down ATN.aTTax in a huge upset in the first round, 13-13, and a percentage win went to Tribe Gaming, and they went on to beat Resistance 14-11. That was kind of expected. I felt like Tribe Gaming was the dominant team there, and I feel like ATN.aTTax would have done the same, and they did just that. They got the perfect war in the other bracket, and they both moved on to the semifinals. Now, Darkest MuZhan on the other side, they lost to INTZ right out of the gate. Then they moved on, and they completely dominated in the lower bracket. They took out Hama, which I thought that was a really, really good team, and they beat them 14-10. Wow, that was crazy, right? But now, Tribe Gaming and Darkest MuZhan are fighting in the semifinals. And I believe that Tribe Gaming is the better team here. They have a lot more competitive experience. They have very, very strong players. They've adapted easily to the new meta, and they've already proven it by beating ATN.aTTax once this tournament so far. So I do believe that Tribe Gaming will win this, but I don't think they'll be able to beat ATN.aTTax again if they have to face them again, or INTZ. I really feel like the winner of ATN.aTTax and INTZ will be the team that's going to go and win it all. But good luck to both teams, and we'll see what happens. Back to you guys.
Yes, this matchup could bring up some potential old rivalries, because if you cast your minds back to the Town Hall 12 Cup at the end of last year, we had 11 Original going up against Nova, Eve Maxi playing for 11 Original, and Wei playing for Nova. This could be a revenge match for Wei since they lost out to 11 Original in that final, Woody.
Good point there, Banks. Yeah, these 2 teams know each other very well. They've competed on the main stage. Darkest MuZhan has got players that are world champions, though, and Tribe Gaming has been climbing and clawing back to prove that they're the better squad. I think that so far this month in the World Finals, or in the World Championship Qualifier, Tribe Gaming has been performing a little bit better. They've got a 70% hit rate and only gave up the 3rd star on 40% of the attacks against them. On the other side, Darkest MuZhan had a 53% hit rate, but their defense has been really strong. 73% of the attacks against them, they've kept that 3-star at bay.
Yeah, we've been seeing some amazing attacks from every single one of the clans that are in the semifinals here, but we're starting it off with Kartik coming in with the Yeti Bow Bat, where we haven't seen too many of these bat spell attacks here, and because of the new update, it's been bringing so many new metas to the game, and maybe we're trying to break these bases down. We do see the Grand Warden taking it, setting a funnel with some sneaky goblins up top, It looks like he wants to get everything to funnel straight towards the Eagle Artillery to get base a little bit quicker, but he does have some wall breakers as well. He's going to try to charge his way in. The thing with these Grand Warden walks, Woody, is it takes forever to start it. You got to worry about timing, especially for the back end.
It sure does. That skeleton trap isn't really going to hurt the Grand Warden very much. The fact that it slows him down, this is the main initial stage of the attack, and Kartik is really hoping to get through it as quickly as possible. He's already over a minute in before he finally drops the first stage of the hit here. He's starting off pretty far away from the Town Hall, so you can expect him to kind of rotate toward the top end with this attack. He didn't bring any jump spells, instead, as you mentioned, opting for those bat spells, so he's going to have to bust his way through the base the old-fashioned way. Uses an early Eternal Tome there to protect from most of the front side damage here, but he won't have it on the back end. When that Town Hall explodes, it deals a ton of damage from its Death Bomb, Carbon.
Yeah, absolutely. This Town Hall is still standing here. The Lava Hound's going to slow down anything in the core, but the Queen has completely gone away from the Town Hall. There is the blimp going to fly in. I wonder if he wanted to use that blimp in a different location, so he's forced to drop it for this Town Hall here. The Queen, she went all the way down to the bottom side. The bowlers are doing some work. He's just trying to keep them alive, but there is the blimp for the Town Hall. He still has the bats and a Royal Champion to use, Woody.
This is going nowhere where Kartik thought it would. The Queen rotating to the bottom, meaning that there's nothing to back up the firepower right there in the gut of the base. He's sending in the bat spells at the bottom now, and that's going to be his second wind here without any major splash damage structures to focus in on them. They're going to have a field day taking out those Teslas and Archer towers, but as soon as they get near this Wizard tower, oh no, one splash goes off before the freeze spell. Still, they're going to be chugging away at that. Support from the World Champion on the back end is going to keep them alive a bit longer here. We're at 80%, but less than a minute left, and this firepower is just not enough to get through the rest of the base, Carbon.
He's still got the bats left with about 20 seconds left. Is it going to be enough time? He's trying to push his way through. The Lava Hound is not going to do anything to his bowlers. The bats are doing some beautiful work, and look at this. Kartik still able to get the 3-star against Evecheck. When you think it was going down, he was able to save the blimp for the Town Hall. Beautiful job, Kartik, coming in with the triple.
Had me sweating during that entire attack, Carbon. It seemed like it was really falling apart early on, but after all, that's what makes the pro players the best at the game. They know exactly what they've got to do to keep their heads on straight, even when things don't seem to be working out for them. With 10 seconds left, it was certainly not a dominating victory here for Kartik, but the 3-star got the job done for Darkest MuZhan, a squad that is ascendant now over a Tribe Gaming team that has got their boots shaken, certainly. They're rattled now, Carbon.
Yeah, we're going to see now the next attack coming in from Nick, and he is indeed using that Zap Lalo to help take down the Clan Castle, the Scatter Shot, and both, or no, at least one of the sweepers here, because there is one more pointed down south toward the Eagle Artillery. I wonder if it's kind of moving some of the defenses around with that base design, because you really want to try to take down that Clan Castle. You don't have to deal with it. It looks like he's trying to charge his, well, is there an opening in the wall? Yes, there is, up by that air defense, so he doesn't need a wall break. So as long as that's a beautiful funnel, this Queen can make her way there, and then you can lollo around.
All right, Barb King is going to be smashing through the right side over there and assisting with the funnel, like you mentioned there, Carbon. Queen is now dropped up at the top corner there, popping down a few storages here. We're getting into the midpoint of this initial phase where Nick is starting to think about where to get these Lava Hounds deployed. The Lava Loon attack fears those air defenses, has to burn through them quickly, or else they'll deal a ton of damage to either the Hound or the Loon. So I see them out on the left and right side corners. Looks like there's one at the bottom as well. The single target Infernos can also burn through Lava Hounds in a really short amount of time, so you want to have a little bit of cushioning for those attacks if possible. It sends in a few balloons out the corner out there to protect the Lava Hound, but it's going to get burnt up real quickly. Pops and those pups should help a little bit, but he's already had to send in a second Lava Hound to back them up, Carbon.
Yeah, hey, watch out for these balloons through these. Oh, look, there's going to probably be a lot more. Oh, red air bombs near that scatter inside the core of the base. The Stone Slammer's trying to move its way down, uses the haste to push these around, pops this Grand Warden early. The Grand Warden gets locked on by the scatter, but the Queen, she is going around the base, freezes the scatter one more time, only has one haste spell left, did drop the Headhunter, and the Queen is still standing, needs these balloons to push their way through the bottom, but the scatter in the backside of this defense with that Queen is going to do way too much damage to these troops.
Nick had got 100% 3-star in his first attack from the war on the bracket stage, the group stage on the first day, but looks like he's having trouble following up against this Archer Queen, who has just been so difficult to deal with. She is really deadly, especially for these aerial raids, and with her right there smack dab in the center and nothing to take her down. It looks like Nick's raid is starting to fall apart here now. 78% 2-star with maybe some additional cleanup along the outer edges, but Tribe Gaming have taken a big hit right on the chin, and it'll be a tough one to make a comeback for at this point. Darkest MuZhan in the driver's seat for this semifinal match.
Yeah, unfortunately, that scattershot did a bunch of work. He really wanted that headhunter to try to go for that queen, but those ground expos that are protecting her will target anything that's ground, and which would be the headhunter trying to charge its way into the base, and very unfortunate, going to be the 81% 2-star. So Tribe Gaming coming in this war winning is down and at a disadvantage, and Darkest MuZhan is looking really good right now, Banks.
Yeah, that is a really unfortunate start for Tribe Gaming. They're having such a dominant performance throughout this qualifier already. They're only in their third match. Darkest MuZhan have had to really claw their way back into this competition. But yeah, like you said, a pretty poor start. Darkest MuZhan are definitely in the driver's seat, Woody.
Darkest MuZhan have improved war after war. They got 11 stars in their first match against INTZ, then came back with 13 against Kapinalsa, and then 14 against Hama. Could this be their chance for a perfect war against such a highly respected team? Only time will tell, but Wei, one of the world champions of Clash of Clans, has got his shot right now, has got back-to-back 3-stars off his last 2 attacks, and is looking to keep the momentum going clear and strong with a hybrid hit now. 15 miners and 10 hog riders in the main phase of this attack. He's gotten the CC pull and knocked down a few of those troops up at the top side, but it looks like he didn't get a complete pull just yet here, Carbon.
Yeah, indeed, he did not pull the full CC, so he's going to hang on to this poison spell once this queen charges in. Does have one super wall breaker. Balloons pulling the Seeking Air Mines, finding a couple Seeking Air Mines. Watch out, this might be a completely trapped area. He doesn't have any more balloons to drop. Queen's going to charge her way to the Town Hall, walk towards the bottom side, be able to take out that king down there. And take note that there is a multi-target Inferno, so as the queen walks by, she won't be taken down as quick as normally with a single target Inferno. That Town Hall does finally go down there. We have plenty of time here in the raid. Still has the king and going to come in with the hybrid with the rest of the raid here.
Raged up Queen will stay quite healthy, but whoa, that's a lot of goblins coming out of the castle. Can be tricky to deal with those fast-running dudes, and looks like that poison spell is going to miss a couple of the headhunters. They're hopping into range right now, and the Queen's going to be able to pop them down no trouble. Wei is still on track to victory. Has sent in a few troops to support this attack on the top right side. Archer Tower is distracted against the Barbarian King. He's going to get some minion fire right on top of it. And here come the Hog Riders storming in up top with the miners staying nice and topped off with a heal spell, as well as some backup from the Grand Warden and a Royal Champion. Almost all of the major hero abilities still available for Wei here. He's got a multi-target Inferno to deal with on the backside, but that Archer Queen is popping him down without much difficulty at all, Carbon.
Yeah, look at the power through the rest of this base. That multi-target Inferno did absolutely nothing to the Queen. Imagine if it was a single target, the Queen would have went down. But he's got a ton of hogs and miners, drops the freeze, and he's going to still have the Royal Champion ability, going to be able to crush this base right here. The Queen finally goes down, but with the amount of troops left, with the Grand Warden King even still on the outside, Woody, this is looking like another overwhelming 3-star for Darkest MuZhan.
The strongest hit we've seen so far this war. Wei has got plenty of time remaining, and even's got a swag Royal Champion ability that he didn't use. 100% 3-star, and Darkest MuZhan are on a tearing rampage through these Tribe Gaming bases. We thought that Tribe Gaming, because they had only played 2 wars, have been maybe saving some of their better bases for the semis, but if that's the case, Darkest MuZhan have got the magnifying glass right on top of them, examining every little single weakness and taking perfect advantage of them so far. Tribe Gaming are now really scared by a squad that they might have underestimated, Carbon.
Yeah, Tribe Gaming's gonna have to answer with 3 stars because they're down right now to those 2 triples. Eve Maxi is the next one up, and he's coming in with more lightning spells. He's gonna drop it, and he's coming in with the Zap Alalo. Let's see if he can fly around the space. We do have one multi-target Inferno near the Queen, and take note that we do have a ground expo near the enemy Queen, so if he tries to drop the headhunter anywhere near her, or it looks like he might actually try to get the King or Queen close, it's gonna be really difficult, but we're gonna have to see. We have one sweeper still up. That's pointing down south. There's the World Champion to help potentially grab the multi, but luckily these skellies did just pop, so the World Champion should not get slowed down and should be able to take the multi-target Inferno, maybe even the air defense down. Oh, another ground skeleton pop right in front of this multi here, unfortunately.
Lightning Lalo, one of the strongest new attacks in the game. That Lightning Spell coming in clutch to take out key defenses. EVMAXi using it against the Clan Castle right there in the center, so he won't have to worry about that big defensive boon that Wei was relying on here in the backside of the base. Still, he's got the Eagle Artillery and the Archer Queen in the same compartment right there in the top right of this town hall. EVMAXi making his stab in there, but without any healers to back up this Archer Queen. It's just a matter of how many shots she can get off before she goes down. Targeting onto the town hall right after this expo. Will that be enough to finish it off, Carbon?
Oh, it's gonna be close, and yes, he did just get it. And take note that the King also took the air defense all the way down towards 6 o'clock, which means these hounds can fly and stay towards 9, and they won't fly all the way around. This is looking really solid for EVMAXi. Beautiful value. Still has the dragon that just came out, freezes the scatter shot here. He's gonna move his way around, still has this Grand Warden ability to use. Hounds are flying across his base. Hopefully he can time this right. These hounds are pulling some red air bombs. Looking really
a tornado trap.
Wow, look at these, even 2 dragons come out right there.
Really unlucky tornado there for EVMAXi, going to slow those balloons down a bit, but fortunately for him, those Expos set to ground have got no chance at firing away at the balloons. He still has a good shot here, even though he lost most of the tanking out in front. The Stone Slammer and Lava Hounds going down really early in this raid, but has a big old dragon backing up these balloons up top. Barbarian King's not going to cause any problems for him, and a healthy Grand Warden behind this balloon army is going to keep that life aura nice and strong. Even has the Grand Warden's Eternal Tome still available for him. Hasn't used that yet, kind of surprisingly. He took a ton of damage on the front end, but was saving it for the last leg of this attack. An air defense and a Wizard Tower still remain on defense, but as long as he uses this Eternal Tome at the right moment, I think he'll be just fine. Drops the last haste spell, and EVMAXi seems to have a solid shot at making this 3-star happen, Carbon.
Yeah, it's going to come down to time. He really needs his air defense to go down here. The Grand Warden does stay. Oh, he does just go down here. But the question is going to be time. Unfortunately, this dragon's going to be slow with 15 seconds left. He's got some storages, no more minions for cleanup. Oh, can the balloons split? He needs them. Oh, no, they all go down south. And it's going to be a time fail here for EVMAXi. He needed those minions down to help clean up, but unfortunately did not have that. And all those lava hounds, those lava pups got picked off from the air defense Archer Tower there. Banks, how unfortunate. Now they got the time fail and really down to Darkest MuZhan.
Yes, indeed. That's a really unfortunate time fail for me, EVMAXi. Tribe Gaming really needed a triple in that stage of the game because that would have just set them up to maybe come back with a comeback. But Wei looking super strong, as always, throughout this entire qualifier so far. Wei has been one of the strongest players for Darkest MuZhan, and he just proved it right there again.
RIP Tribe Gaming on a time fail have lost their chance to come back against Darkest MuZhan. The first 2 hits from each squad have been an absolute advantage for Darkest MuZhan. It's hard for me to even wrap my head around this. A squad like Tribe coming off of so many dominant wins in the earlier stages has just fallen apart in their first 2 hits for this semifinal match, Carbon. UZP is going to be coming in next for Darkest MuZhan, another world champion. And wow, this team, just like Nova last year, they seem to be kind of slowly chugging along until they just really turn it up to 11 and dominate their opponents, wiping the floor when, you know, if you underestimate them for a single moment, you've made a huge mistake. And I guess I have to fall into that category because I thought Darkest MuZhan were going to drop this semis, but they are now super far ahead.
Yeah, we're starting off with the Grand Warden walk here to try to take down the single target Inferno with this raid spell. The Warden does not target onto the single here, so he's gonna have to invest 1 more freeze in order to take it down. So that's 2 freezes early here in the raid, and we're gonna have to wait to see. He does have a siege barrack still to use. Potentially the King's being used on the top side, so he can charge straight into this town hall with 1 super wall breaker and get ready for the charge straight in. He's looking to help take the core down, but remember, he does not have a freeze. So if he's sending the World Champion anywhere, hopefully he doesn't get locked down to potentially to any single target. And there is a Lava Hound that's coming out of the Clan Castle.
Yeah, much more often you see those earthquakes dropped early on, but UZP will still have a clear path in there now that he knows exactly where he's got to go. It's activated the Town Hall and will be able to take it down nice and early. The first star claimed here, but he's already used the Grand Warden Eternal Tome pretty early on in this raid, had to protect from that death damage from the Town Hall. Now dropping his rage spells to get those Yeti Mites bouncing over the walls as fast as they can. Distraction from the lava pups has really started to slow this raid down though, and it looks like where's the rest of the attack?
Yes, so all the bowlers and Yetis pretty much died off to the Town Hall when it exploded. The Warden ability was too late. And so actually it was too early because it expired by the time that the Town Hall exploded there. So he lost all the bowlers and he got so much damage to those Yetis. And now it's a matter of trying to get a little bit more percentage here. He has some hogs and wizards on the outside. This queen's still up. Oh no, she did go down in the core right there. The Grand Warden's the final thing that really can get a little bit more percent with these healers moving through, but that is a single target Inferno. This is just going to be a 2-star here for UZP.
All right, the first 2-star from Darkest MuZhan, giving a tiny bit of breathing room here for Tribe Gaming. Itsu's base holding up for the first time in the semifinal match. A big mistake from UZP missing the Grand Warden. I assumed that Darkest MuZhan was going to hit that Warden ability on time because it's one of the most reliable and necessary things in an attack at this scale. But you're right, he used it just a little bit too early, and a millisecond's difference can make all of the difference in an attack like this. That Grand Warden's Eternal Tome necessary to protect against big splash damage from that Town Hall bomb. If you miss that one thing, as we've now seen, your entire raid's going to evaporate.
Absolutely. He just popped it a little bit too early, and he didn't wait enough time because they were taking quite a bit of damage there and going to finish with the 83% 2-star. But Darkest MuZhan is still looking really good right here with those 2 triples and even a higher percentage 2-star. They not only have the advantage on stars, they also have the advantage on percentage. And we were looking at the replay, which the Grand Warden ability was just too late. The bowlers kind of got stuck, killing off some of the CC troops before they moved on to the Town Hall, and then they just got totally destroyed once that Town Hall went down, Woody.
Darkest MuZhan missing in their third hit, not able to complete that tic-tac-toe, but Tribe Gaming will be moving back in now. Tribe has still got some really strong attackers in their squad. Eve Check and Lexnos have both got a 100% hit rate so far. So let's see if Lex can keep that up. He really needs to come in clutch for his squad right now, get that 3-star on the board, and ensure that Darkest MuZhan have only got a 1-star lead over Tribe. It looks like it's going to be really tough for Tribe to win on percentage in this war. So they really need for these next 3 attacks to all be triples back to back to back.
Yeah, so now he drops the lightning, but did not kill off that Royal Champion. So she is still just barely up with almost no health there. Was it because of the Grand Warden? I don't know. It would have been close there if that Royal Champion was standing in the Grand Warden circle right there. But the Wall Wrecker is going to be now charging its way into this Town Hall. Should be able to remove the Royal Champion with 1 shot. The King's going to be on the outside and going to come in with 44 Hog Riders here, Woody. But keep note that he only has 2 heal spells. The biggest threat that the wall does not open here. Unless the P.E.K.K.A. beats on it. And the P.E.K.K.A. does open it just in time. Oh, that was close. And now pops that Queen ability. The biggest threat is going to be Ground Skellies as he moves around with the Hog Riders.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of an early pop there, but he just had to make sure that the Town Hall goes down. With these Hog Riders coming in a double wave formation, half coming in at the top corner and another half being spread out in the top left side. Lexnos is aiming for that multi-target Inferno on the backside, holding onto his heal spells because he knows that can really burn them up super quickly. A scatter shot is going to go down and another one shortly thereafter. Holding on to that heal spell, should expect to see that get dropped any second now as this splash damage is really coming in heavy against those Hog Riders. There goes only on the multi-target Inferno, though. A little bit of a miss from that from that free spell, but Lex has still got quite a few Hogs. They're spread out pretty well. Giant Bomb goes off, but the heal spell should be able to top off all the rest of the Hogs. They're hammering away at this multi-target Inferno, Carbon Fin.
Yeah, the biggest thing, he missed that Grand Warden Eternal Tome over a giant group of the Hogs, unfortunately. So they took so much damage as they moved through the core there. Does have the Royal Champion ability, but look at all these Hogs. They have been picked off way too quickly, and that Grand Warden was too far away. Is he going to have just enough? Another Ground Skelly does pop right here. The Royal Champion, unfortunately, the Warden goes down. The Hogs are all gone, and just these final defenses are going to hold here. And the Expo Frodo finally goes down, but not going to have enough. I wonder if he was able to pop that Grand Warden ability just 1 second earlier. He would have been able to help save all those hogs that got taken out in the core, and he would have been able to have a giant momentum through the base. He lost that, unfortunately. Very nice try from Lex, and right now, Tribe Gaming is down tremendously with all these triples. Darkest MuZhan has got it in the bag. They are looking really good. How unfortunate for Lex in that attack.
Still yet to get that triple. Tribe Gaming really struggling now at the moment. Darkest MuZhan can kind of ease off the pedal a little bit, be a bit more comfortable, maybe even take a few more chances. But let's take a really quick look at this replay, Woody, from Lexnos.
Yeah, watch the second stage of this attack. As Carbon mentioned there, that early Grand Warden ability wound up missing out on quite a few of the hogs in the backside. He's known for being better at following along the main pack of troops, but just didn't get in the right position this time with Lexnos' attack. Might have invested a little bit too much on cleanup troops on the outer edges. Even though he brought 44 Hog Riders, that's usually more than you even see with a Mass Hog attack, but didn't have any miners in that squad. They are a little bit more effective as long as you aren't worried about any key defensive structures, and so maybe that's just one of the advantages to bring in a hybrid squad rather than relying solely on Hog Riders. Nice snipe here from Chin. Notices a mortar in the top left, undefended to air. We'll use a minion to be able to drop that down. And that just really highlights for me the fact that Darkest MuZhan are reshaping the meta game now. Their defenses have just been so impossibly difficult to crack. Not a single triple so far from Tribe Gaming. They have just read the playbook as they are writing it. Darkest MuZhan just really responding on the fly and finding exactly what Tribe can't figure out to move forward in the semifinal.
Yeah, we're seeing now Chen coming in with the Queen Charge, going in with the hybrid as well. Does pop this Lava Hound here. Gonna charge this Queen straight in with 2 super wall breakers. He's gonna take his time. Can't reach the Town Hall from this angle here. There's the balloon to test for Seeking Air Mines. The super wall breaker is going in here. Oh, pulls a Seeking Air Mine right there on the healers, and that loon finds one of them, so gonna be safe. And you gotta make sure he does freeze that up so the Queen doesn't go down, and finally does just drop it. Where's the Queen? Oh, the Queen's gonna step up for the Town Hall. Can he take it? No, has to invest a free spell before the healers get taken out. Woody, but the single target Inferno, it needs to go down to keep this Queen alive, and it does. Just perfectly timed right there.
Chen is moving stepwise against every major defense of the space and knocking them down in turn. Lexnos has got a relatively bad spread against this Archer Queen charge, which is torn through the bottom corner of this base. Finally finding some resistance from this air defense, popping down the healers over on the left side corner, but it's just too little too late to deny Chen. Moving in with the main bulk of his troops now. He's got Hog Riders and Miners in this hybrid squad that are ripping through the top right corner and seem to be facing very little resistance. Lexnos' defense is falling apart now as another Scattershotter is about to go down. Finished off and kept nice and healthy with these heal spells. Chen is looking for a 3-star, and it looks like it's going to be hard to deny him that win, Carmen.
Yeah, the World Champion just pops her ability right there. Has a ton of hogs coming around to join up with the force, taking out this single target Inferno, find some spring traps, but there is not many defenses left, and it's looking like Darkest MuZhan's going to put up another triple here in the match with 35 seconds. It's going to be plenty of time. Beautiful hit with the hybrid, taking down these bases. I wonder if it's going to be the base design they're trying to defend against certain attack strategies, maybe with the lightning spells, but coming in with the hybrid attacks, able to take it down. Very nice job right there.
Out of all of the professional commentary, not a single time did I hear someone say that Darkest MuZhan was the favorite in this match against Tribe Gaming. When we polled stream chat, over 80% of the respondents said that Tribe Gaming was the above all favorite to win. What has happened in the past half hour, Carbon, that has led Darkest MuZhan on such a massive victory over this squad?
Yeah, Darkest MuZhan coming in with the older attack strategies. What is the Yeti Bat? Then we're seeing some hybrid triples. We're seeing the triples that are coming in. Maybe it's just the change on the defensive layouts, coming in and exploiting them, doing a great job. But now we're seeing Evecheck, and he's coming in with the Super Witch. Evecheck has gotten 2 triples with these Super Witches, so he knows exactly how to use them. He's going to use the Grand Warden Walk over on the top. He's going to help try to set the funnel on both sides sides with this. Look at these wizards and the archer over there. Very easy and simple funnel to be able to charge into this town hall and then overwhelm it with a quad quake as well, Woody.
These barracks dropped on the right side corner. EVCheck going to clear out the remaining trash buildings. So this is a relatively compact base design that UZP has set up. Super Witches by EVCheck, a new troop being brought to bear here. Big boys busting through the front side to protect these witches out on the back. And the healers are starting to group up with the rest of the attack now as they jump on in to take that town hall early on. First star will be claimed by EVCheck as he moves into the later stage of the base. A tornado trap going to slow things down, and a giant bomb explodes. But nice catch, EVCheck. EVCheck triggers that Grand Warden Eternal Tome just in time, but will it stay up long enough to protect him from the Town Hall bomb? No! The bomb! Kablooey! EVCheck's forces have been decimated.
Oh my goodness, he still has some of the super witches out. They were at least away from the town hall in a different compartment there. The big boys took some damage, but they can respawn as long as these super witches don't go down. The Royal Champion is moving through the bottom side. Down she does just pop her ability, uses the freeze to try to keep her alive. The queen is now on the top side. It has only one free spell left to use. Can these super witches stay up in the core? They're spawning more big boys. It's not looking too bad. He could still turn this around.
One Super Witch has been eliminated by that multi-target Inferno over on the bottom side, but it's been destroyed now. EVCheck, with just over a minute left, is working on cleanup for the backside of the base. Took a big hit early on, but those Super Witches keep on swinging. Healers are doing a perfect job of supporting the rest of the squad, topping them back off again and keeping this party going. EVCheck seeking out the 3 stars, hoping and praying that Darkest MuZhan might get an attack fail later on in this war to keep him alive. EVCheck's squad is right there with him, screaming in the comms, hoping that this attack can keep it going. Looks like he's got a solid chance of making the triple happen. After all, this Archer Queen on the last legs of her strike, but still standing. She will not be denied the 3-star Carbon.
EVCheck coming in with 3 triples using the super witches here in the qualifiers. Beautiful job. EVCheck knows how to exactly break these bases down, how to use these super witches. Definitely something to take note. Beautiful job. Gonna give Tribe Gaming their first 3-star, but Darkest MuZhan is well in the driver's seat here. Banks, unbelievable performance so far.
I agree with you, Carbon. Darkest MuZhan definitely still in the driver's seat, but EVCheck proving to us all, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Using those super witches every single time in the qualifiers is showing a really amazing display of confidence as well on his part, because not a lot of people have been using the super witches during this qualifier. Why do you think that is, Carbon?
I believe it's just they don't have too much experience with it. There's been a lot of testing, but the super witches, they take up so much housing space, 40 per super witch. You're gonna have to have a real good feel. There's so many different attack strategies maybe you've had practice with. They haven't had too much with this update, so you never know. There's so many different attack strategies you can go with, but we're jumping into the very next attack, Woody, and it's gonna be B, and he's gonna be coming in with a hybrid as well.
B, an attacker for Darkest MuZhan, has gotten 1 single triple so far for his squad in the previous war, but is gonna try to keep pace. His team is virtually guaranteed victory as long as he can continue to pull off those reliable 2-star hits. But of course, a triple is what is on his mind right now. Sending in a Baby Dragon up top with this Archer Queen to get a few pop shots at the top corner and provide the funnel for this hybrid attack. Siege Barracks to back it up too will get some additional funneling, I'm guessing over on the left side corner there, where you see a lot of errant structures on the outside. But targeting that town hall is the priority numero uno here for B. Finishes it off with a free spell on the back end to slow down that Expo, and with the CC pull now has got an Archer Queen that's taking quite a bit of fire. She's going to take a lot of punishment facing off against this Lava Hound.
That was an unbelievable. The Queen rerouted into the Town Hall here to get that CC. The whole point of that wall opening is to prevent the Queen from doing exactly that. And now he's able to charge his Queen in. Gonna have to use his free spell to invest and gets the Queen into the core here. There is that single target Inferno to keep your eye on, but he still has the whole hybrid. I don't know, he was maybe planning on to have get that Queen to the Town Hall some other way, but he still was able to do it. Hybrid's coming down. The single target Inferno is going to be distracted. Still waiting on the Hogs. Finally does drop them. Royal Champion. This is looking really good. The Queen can get some great value as the hybrid moves towards that Eagle Artillery.
Yeah, and crucially still has the Archer Queen ability that he can use anytime he needs. There it goes, pops against the enemy Archer Queen and finishes her off. Still see that Barbarian King and the Royal Champion on the backside, which could cause some trouble for these Hog Riders. Got to keep those miners focused right on their task, and that's what B has done a perfect job of doing so far. Giant Bomb's going to go off, but with a heal spell right on top of them, I think that those troops are going to remain quite safe with a Grand Warden to back them up to that life ore. Is keeping these troops nice and topped off. That Queen is going to get a few pop shots against a wall here, but as long as the single target Inferno doesn't lock, she should be safe. This 3-star is looking easy to claim here for B. He's going to hammer this base down, and Darkest MuZhan have just guaranteed their spot in the finals.
Absolutely. This hybrid is destroying these bases here. Has plenty of troops with plenty of time. Over 40 seconds left in the raid. The Queen still up. The King, the Grand Warden, all these miners did exactly the job he needed. Destroyed the base, was able to help pop that Grand Warden ability perfectly through the bomb tower. The Giant Bomb scatter shots was perfectly used, flawless right there to give Darkest MuZhan another triple. They're all the way up to 14 stars and a 96.6% unbelievable performance here in the semifinals.
80% hit rate for Darkest MuZhan against one of the strongest clans in the whole world. Tribe Gaming has cracked and fallen in this semifinal match, but let's get one more chance to cheer on our squad. INTZ will be moving in for the final hit of this war to send Darkest MuZhan packing one more time before they head out. Tribe Gaming have put up an excellent fight here, but we'll have to wait until another couple of months before they get a chance to move back into the qualifiers. They didn't qualify for the next month's competition, but well played to them on this time around. They're going to get a few more fans, but not the golden ticket, Carbon.
Yeah, we're going to see now the Queen, the King, going to charge its way straight into this town hall. Going to be able to take out the... Oh, wait, the Queen going the wrong way with the laboratory up top, dropping a few hogs and a balloon, trying to help set this funnel. But the Queen might not go towards this town hall. That... with that pulling the Queen away, so this town hall is going to stay. Unfortunately, not going to get there. That was the whole value. He determined he really needed that to help set up the funnel for the Hog Riders.
Archer Queen's still alive, though. She's going to pop away at this expo, but what will she do next? Paths to the top. Not good news for INTZ, who was hoping this Archer Queen could go easy for the town hall. The pathing is going to be all screwed up now, and it's going to force him to have to reconsider his mode of attack. He brought a Stone Slammer in here, but he might be able to swap it out for a Battle Blimp if he wants to have something go directly for the Town Hall. Remember, until it gets activated at 51% damage or taking a shot itself, it will not be a defensive structure, and therefore will not pull the fire from troops that target defenses like the Hog Rider.
Absolutely. Now the Grand Warden, he might be saving onto this Royal Champion for the Town Hall. Now pops that Grand Warden ability, or at least still has the Stone... Nope. Decides to use the Royal Champion now towards the other side. Stone Slammer will have to be used for this Town Hall as all the Hogs are moving around. But the enemy Queen is going down to these Headhunters. Can she go down? And yes, she finally does. Hogs are moving through. But with this Eagle up, did he have the right pathing? The Hogs are trying to push their way through. There's quite a bit of defenses, and the Eagle Artillery is doing a massive work here around as the Hogs are moving through.
INTZ trying to keep these Hogs topped off, but they're finding Giant Bombs all over this map. No Minesweeping to keep them safe, and it looks like INTZ doesn't even have a plan for the back end. He's got a scatter shot still up and has taken a ton of firepower. He's doing his best to finish off the remaining defenses and has actually got most of them finished off, but there's no cleanup for this base except for this one lone Stone Slammer. Never count him out, though. We've seen INTZ pull off more difficult tasks in the past. In fact, just in this qualifier series, he missed the Town Hall early on, but still was able to pull off the 3-star. So keep an eye on these troops now dropping from the Stone Slammer. It's going to be Hog Riders, but they take a massive hit from the scatter shot just as soon as they land. Those paratroop and Hogs are in for a disaster. INTZ trying to clean up along the top edge, but even if he had the troops, I don't think he's got the time here. 86% in climbing, but just 10 seconds left to countdown, Carbon.
Yeah, unfortunately, that queen going the wrong way, not going into that single target inferno really hurt. He wanted to take the town hall down, use the stone slammer in a completely different compartment of the base. Really nice try from INTZ there, but congratulations to Darkest MuZhan as they will be advancing to the grand finals, 14-11. Unbelievable performance.
Yes, unfortunately for Tribe Gaming, the favourites going into this match, they unfortunately do not manage to close it out. They're going to be sent packing. Darkest MuZhan take that first spot in the finals and for that golden ticket. So let's take a look at these stats right here. Unfortunately, Tribe Gaming just not managing to quite keep up with Darkest MuZhan. It was an unfortunate circumstance, but now we're going to see. Now we're going to have to find out, actually, who is going to be joining them in the final. And an outstanding performance from Darkest MuZhan, maintaining their composure and cruising through that final with an 80% hit rate, like Woody said. Carbon, what an unbelievable match.
It was absolutely unbelievable to see everything going down. I can't wait to see who is going to be joining Darkest MuZhan in the finals, man. Banks, it's going to be great.
It really is. And now I'm going to hand you over to our resident expert. It's Judo at the Telestrator.
Thank you, Banks. They were cruising indeed. Darkest MuZhan doing what they needed to do. And I really liked the attack by Wei because he used multiple phases. So let's explain that to you. Starting off with the Yeti blimp in towards this top area. Now what he's trying to get is good value in taking out defenses, but also luring the clan castle. Recognizes that the tornado trap is in the area, so has to pop the battle blimp. And unfortunately, that means he does not pull all of the clan castle troops, but Wei recognizes that and allows the queen as she walks down to get into the base and take out the rest of the troops once she is there. Now, in order to send the queen in, we have to set off the funnel at the other side. Cut that funnel off so that the queen will walk in, she gets the town hall, and will lure the clan castle troops. Now, the reason it is so important with a hybrid attack is that if there's ice golems in the clan castle, they can slow down your hybrid, so you've got to make sure you take it out initially if you don't know what's in there, such as the single attack format. Now, I like the quick adaptation as well, freezing the headhunters, because they will do damage and take out your queen if you're not careful. But if we take a look at the wider picture now, with the Yeti blimp and the queen charge, we've taken the entire top area of the base down. The king is doing the same over to the right hand side of the base, and ultimately that is what you have to do with the hybrid. Send the miners in first. Because they target anything, you've got to have that pathing, and the hog riders will catch up because they're quicker. Now, an easy way to think about the spells is use a heal spell first, followed by your Grand Warden's ability in the center because there's more dangerous defenses. Maybe you've got a rage left over, and then use a heal on the back end of the base as well as the hogs and miners come out of the Grand Warden's ability. In this case, into a multi and scatter shot. Definitely needed. A fantastic performance by Darkest MuZhan. I am very much looking forward to seeing who is going to be joining them, but let's find out who Eric thinks it will be.
I'm Clash with Eric, and I want to go over my predictions for the upcoming match between INTZ and ATN.aTTax. What an incredible show it's been so far, but the best is yet to come. INTZ versus ATN.aTTax. Now, I initially thought these two teams would meet each other in the finals, going undefeated all the way. That obviously didn't happen. ATN.aTTax went down to Tribe Gaming in what I consider an upset. Now, that pushed them to the lower bracket. They dominated there. They easily secured the spot for the semifinals, but it pushed them to the opposite side of the bracket, and they're going to face INTZ. Now, both of these teams are coming into this after a perfect war. They have a lot of momentum. They have a lot of confidence, but these two teams have recently fought each other. They fought in the EWU Championship just recently, and INTZ crushed ATN.aTTax. I believe that that is going to happen again. I believe that INTZ is going to be better adjusted to the meta. They have a lot of really good Lalo players. They can take advantage of the new Zapquake Lalo. They're really good with the headhunters from what I've seen so far. They have players like Marino, who can definitely clutch those 3 stars, and he is going amazing for this tournament so far, and I expect him to continue that. So I believe that whoever wins this, I'm leaning towards INTZ, but whoever wins it is going to go all the way. I believe that they're going to beat the winner of the other bracket, and they'll win the golden ticket to the World Championship. So guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. Our first finalist is in the bag, and so it's time to see who's going to be their contender. These two teams have had a remarkable journey all the way up to this point, both having a perfect war under their belts in this qualifier. So, Carbon, do you think they're going to be able to do it again?
I mean, both of these teams have the two perfect wars here in the qualifiers. They both have potential. Are we on track for potentially seeing a perfect on each side? That would be absolutely incredible. This is the match to see. Everyone's got their eyes on this one, Woody.
I highly doubt it. Perfect. INTZ, on top of having a perfect war and the highest hit rate, has also got the best defensive rate of any clan in the semifinals. Only 20% of the attacks against them in the first couple of days were 3-star hits. I think that they've got both the offense and the defense chops to take the win again.
Well, the pressure is on and the bases are built. It is time to see who's going to be joining Darkest MuZhan in the final. It's INTZ taking on ATN.aTTax.
Yeah, we got ATN.aTTax with the very first attack here, coming in with the hybrid. We've been seeing many hybrid attacks here in the semifinals, and Linade is doing that as well. Going to take out this clan castle very easily all the way on the outside, and you see how that clan castle is far away from any defense inside the core of this base. Is that because of the new meta base designs trying to stop those lightning spells? Well, will it open up to those queen charge hybrid attacks? We'll have to see, as this queen's going to try to charge her way straight into this base. Does have 2 super wall breakers, should be able to easily remove this town hall, but keep your eye on that single target inferno. And look at this, the ground skellies popped as the queen was out of range of that single, Woody.
Yeah, that single target Inferno is definitely going to force out the Queen ability. If she doesn't use it here, she would go down. Oh, instead, it's going to use that freeze spell. Another good way to shut down that Inferno beam. Once she heats up with that rage spell, she should be able to take it down. Does force out another rage, though. Linade haven't invested a lot of spells for this early attack, but should be able to continue on pace afterwards. Uses a siege barrack out in the left lane and catches a couple of Teslas set up over there. Nice early hit for Linade here as he continues his path to destruction through the base. Town Hall goes down for the first star.
I was going to say I was worried that the queen wasn't going to go for the wall there because the second super wall break opened the clan castle compartment down south, but the queen is now charging her way straight into the scatter shot, taking out the sweeper, and then the hybrid will be able to move straight onto this eagle artillery to the top side. The P.E.K.K.A's all the way up, actually tanking that archer tower with a wizard. Oh, it does go down, but he's got a ton of troops still up in this core. This is looking pretty solid here with the miners and 1 freeze still to use and that World Champion ability, Woody.
I'm not going to call it too early, but this looks like a 3-star to me, Carbon Fin. Linade's forces looking deadly as they path destruction through this base. Only a single target Inferno up on top looks scary. I guess the Wizard Tower could deal some damage, but these troops are so well spread out, and those miners are tracking almost perfectly right onto the defenses, just as Linade would hope that they would. No giant bombs are blowing up this time. It is an easy trip for Linade. Still has got a swag free spell and a balloon he was holding on to. So Lino's base has been dominated, and Linade will continue his victorious rampage for the first triple of this war.
Beautiful attack from Linade of ATN.aTTax to start off this semifinals war against INTZ, coming in with the classic hybrid attack strategy right there. Show how strong it really is, getting so many 3-stars now here in the semifinals. They're sticking back to what they know. They've been using it for so long, and that was a beautiful 3-star from Linade.
All right, we're going to swing the pendulum back to INTZ. It's going to be their turn to attack now. Remember, they have got the highest hit rate and best defenses of any clan so far in this qualifier. They also have 3 members who have got perfect wars so far. That's going to be Marinal, Renan, and Air, who have tripled with both of their attacks. So big expectations for these guys. They have been flawless in their first couple of stages, and going up against an ATN.aTTax team that they've beaten before, we have high expectations for him. But I don't know, it might just wind up being a repeat of our previous war. Any given Sunday, any squad can move forward depending upon the level of adaptability that they show and this skill and design of their bases. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first attack. It's going to be from one of those 3-star hitters. Renan is going up against Boom, using a mass dragon army against a base that's pretty well spread out. He's going to rely on those bat spells toward the end to finish off key defensive structures. Notably, air defenses, Inferno towers are all kind of tricky to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming in with the drag bat. 11 dragons. King's going to be used all on the top side. Like you mentioned, these defenses are pretty spread out here. Hopefully, let's see if these dragons can push their way through. But the biggest thing you have to keep your eye on when you use those bats is where the splash damage defenses are. The scatter, the wizard tower, the multi-target inferno, because that stuff is deadly to the bats. We have Renan coming in with that World Champion to start it off. The super wall break going to help break the initial compartment here so the queen can walk right next to this town hall. Pops her ability, going to try to take out the scatter. Will she be able to do it? One more shot, and yes, the scatter goes down. The queen pops her ability and also grabs the town hall beautifully. Can she even grab the sweeper? So much value from this initial charge.
Oh, she definitely is going to get that sweeper. The other one pointed down toward the bottom is not going to cause any problems at all for Renan. This Eagle Artillery can be deadly against closely packed clumps of troops, so watch these dragons, and if you're an INTZ fan, hope that they stay relatively spread out. That'll help insulate them from the oncoming fire. Early Grand Warden Eternal Tome will protect them from the Inferno Towers with heating up, but there's still a single target on the back end that can deal a lot of damage. Might wind up taking down one or even two of these dragons. There's 3 free spells here for Renan, but he's holding on to all 3 of them, apparently, for the bat stage of this attack. Here they go, coming in on the downside at the 5 o'clock position. Stone Slaver to help back them up, but watch that Wizard Tower right there. That can cause a lot of damage to bats in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, he's got 2 freezes left. He does decide to use it here on the Expo and Wizard Tower. He still has the Stone Slammer still alive. He's got the dragons. He uses that final freeze spell on the Wizard Tower. He needs these bats to move around, but this is looking really strong. The dragons are going to have to fly back around. No, he does drop Action Archer towards 3, and this is looking like a 3-star for Renan with that Stone Slammer still yet to pop. The dragons are going to stay up. Beautiful job right here, and this is going to be an answer for a 3-star for INTZ.
Awesome read by Renan. You don't see those Mass Dragons all that often, but when the base does call for them, as you can see, they can get the job done. Mass Drags and Mass E-Drags, high-flying aerial attack that is able to rival the Laloon in some of the most crucial circumstances. But when those base defenses are so spread out, it makes it difficult to drop lightning and earthquake on them. Sometimes you just got to call in the big guns, Carbon.
Yeah, absolutely. Some crazy stuff. Banks, this is some amazing war right here. Back-to-back triples.
Yes, indeed. The captain from ATN.aTTax, Boom, was not able to fend off Renan's attack. What an incredible start to this matchup. 2 triples to kick us off. This is looking to be a spicy war.
Oh, yes, it definitely is. Oh, these dragons push their way straight through the core with that multi-target inferno. And man, that Stone Slammer didn't even pop, would he?
It didn't, yeah. It held on to it until the very end of the raid when he used it for cleanup, but yeah, plenty of time afterwards. So hats off to him. Congratulations on the first triple. Keeping pace with alternate attacks.
Yeah, now we're going to see the attack coming in with some more bat spells from Vale, dropping that blimp into the queen compartment here. You're going to see a potential use of a rage. No, decides not to do it. Going to leave that queen up, does not pull out the CC, which is all the way down south at 6 o'clock next to that town hall. Does start this Grand Warden. You're going to have the Warden set this funnel here, taking his time, because you don't want to drop that Warden and then drop the blimp, because if it's too close, that Warden will go and follow that blimp once it pops with those Yetis that would come out. So that's happened to me before. I've done it, so I definitely have the experience to know where you don't want to just deploy the Warden a little bit too early. Still is waiting on the healers, and the beautiful job of waiting on these healers here is that these healers can go straight onto these Yetis. Don't need it for the Grand Warden, so you're not risking the healers staying away from the main group that you need.
Yeah, the advantage of his really long range is that he can snipe down a lot of buildings in a pretty short amount of time, especially when they're undefended, like in the base that Bernal had set up here. Volley moving in straight toward that multi-target Inferno through the Giga Inferno at the Town Hall and busting it down in short order. Uses the Grand Warden's Turtle Tome. Perfect timing there. Popped it a little early, but still just in time to protect from the big blast of the Town Hall. Moving along the bottom corner of this base, so he hasn't really found much of a way to crack into the interior. He's going to rely on that Archer Queen to get a few pop shots over on the right side corner, but still has to face down against an Eagle Artillery up on the top. Hopefully the bats can get it. That's the next target. There they go, swooping on in and taking it down.
Yeah, there's the biggest thing. Now the bats gonna need to clear this whole top side. They're gonna grab the Eagle Artillery. There are no air targeting things other than the air defenses, but they target these bats so slow, so they're not a threat to the bats as they move around. The Expo and the Wizard Towers are a big threat. He's pushing his way through. The World Champion is doing a lot of work to these bats. Still has his King ability. One freeze left. Needs to take out the single target Inferno. Drops the freeze finally. Oh my goodness, look at this World Champion just running around to these bats here.
Double duty with that freeze spell, protecting the Grand Warden from the single target Inferno and protecting the bats from that Wizard Tower. Vale is absolutely up to the task. Alternate attacks are on their way to another triple. This is going to be a killer war, Carbon. I'm really looking forward to the fireworks continuing to go off here as alternate attacks get 6 stars in their first 2 hits.
Oh my goodness, this back-to-back 4 triples in a row in this war. Absolutely incredible to see all these 3 stars. We're seeing such amazing attacks. Vale with the beautiful Warden Eternal Tome to pop that ability to protect the bowlers through. He did use the super wall breaker right there. He was thinking maybe the troops could path into the core or the queen. She did actually go a little bit to the right side, but those bats got tremendous value through the top side. Got to the Eagle Artillery super quick, because if you don't, the Eagle could target onto the bats and absolutely destroy them. But we're jumping into the very next attack here, which is gonna be Bernal, and he's coming in with one of his favorite attacks, which involves pretty much a queen charge, and it's gonna be the queen charge Lalo here, Woody.
Yeah, Bernal is known for being one of the best queen charge players in the game, able to pierce multiple walls with very little resistance, cracks through the outer layers there with a super wall breaker, and is holding on to his 5 healers until he gets just the perfect positioning here. He's already sent a baby dragon and maybe kind of scope around and find a seeking air mine, but doesn't see one. Instead, he's going to add a balloon on top here, but it's a little bit behind those healers. Going to have to path forward if it's going to protect him from it. Looks like he does get it out just in time. Bernal from INTZ, known for being one of the stronger attackers on this squad. In fact, most of the players that we asked here said that he has got the highest hit rate from anyone on their team, so expect to see great things from him here. The perfect war is still possible. The dream is alive.
Absolutely pulls out that clan castle right now with the headhunters. Beautiful use of that giant to protect the World Champion a little bit longer. This is a multi-target Inferno, so actually there's 2 multi-target Infernos right on the top side, so the queen can make a beautiful charge through this area. There is the Hound with the pups activating, and let's see, we does go through it right there from the poison spell, no worries, and does deploy the Stone Slammer, and that Stone Slammer can activate that Town Hall since there is the only 1 tile gap between it. Let's see, this queen's gonna pops that queen ability. Some ground skeletons pop as long as all the healers are targeted by the Eagle Artillery as well.
That's not good for Bernal. They're taking a lot of fire, but the queen has locked on. Finally takes down that multi-target Inferno, but I don't know if she's got it in her to take down this Eagle Artillery. She's shooting, she's firing away, doesn't have her ability though, and the Eagle survives. Bad news for Bernal. That could be a lot of damage. He's really got to get to the Eagle Artillery fast. Sends in the balloons with the protection of the Grand Warden and uses that Eternal Tome ability to protect them from that Town Hall damage, but the Eagle Artillery on the backside is not their first target. Moving forward to Expo first. Will they be able to path over toward the left? I'm a bit worried. A big bomb goes off and Bernal's forces have been destroyed, Carbon.
Wow, the queen charge went down right here. INTZ Bernal, you think that the queen, usually Bernal is able to keep that queen alive through this incredible amount of DPS on her, and unfortunately she was not able to, and Bernal is gonna fall short. I was saying that there was so many triples, I was just losing track, but unfortunately I might just jinx Bernal here into this attack, and he's gonna fall short. It's gonna be in the mid-70s. The Eagle stayed up, did a massive amount of work. Really nice try, but now we're gonna be seeing INTZ down and alternate attacks with their 2 triples have a big advantage going into their next attack.
A glorious queen charge through the top end of the space, but Bernal's main forces wrecked by the defenses here. A 73% 2-star is super detrimental for INTZ. Banks?
That really is. Bernal, really unfortunate there, because at this stage in the game, as we've seen already from these 2 teams, INTZ and Alternate Attacks, you need these perfect scores to close it out, because you never know. There is always the possibility that there is going to be a perfect war, especially from alternate attacks and that incredible attack from Vale in the previous match.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were thinking, because both these teams have gotten perfect wars in the qualifiers here, that there is the potential for a perfect, and if there was a perfect, it would come down to the average attack time between the two clans in this war here. But we're gonna have to see. We have Yo-Yo coming in with this Queen charge into the hybrid, which you've been seeing so much here in the semifinals. The balloons are down. Baby Dragon on the outside, send the funnel with the Yeti as well. And there comes that first and only super wall break into the Town Hall. But look at that. The Inferno Dragon forces the Queen to pop that freeze. Gonna get through the CC and then make her way towards this Town Hall.
Poison spell to take down those pups in a rage to try to keep her nice and pointed on target, healed up as well. JoJo's had to spend a lot of spells off the front end here, but he will be rewarded with a Town Hall kill. Archer Queen gets the lock on, but wow, those scatter shot hits have destroyed a huge chunk of those healers' hit point pool. Gotta be wary of that sort of hit, especially when you're relying so much on the Queen. The healers are actually going to split up now, interestingly enough. A couple of them pathing toward the top to support these Hog Riders on the top end. We got a couple of more heal spells left to support them as well. Multi-target Infernos in the back end deal a ton of damage to a hybrid hit like this, so gotta keep them topped off. That actually winds up playing to JoJo's benefit, but I'm not sure if he's got the force to deal enough damage to get through these defenses. Multi-targets are just wrecking this hit so far, Carbon.
Yeah, there's the multi-target Infernos on the top side. The Royal Champion is doing amazing work. The Air Expo is taking out these healers, and unfortunately, a lot of these troops, they did path around the top side. Is he going to have enough to move his way through? The Royal Champion Hogs finally come out of the siege barracks, but that the two multis up top are doing amazing work here, Woody.
JoJo finally given the same sort of attack that INTZ just put up. Looks like they're going to be both neck and neck now with a couple of 3-stars, but not able to pull off the triple here. He's going to continue to path around the bottom side of the space, though, and to his advantage, has got a lot of easy snipes to get that overall damage percentage up. Expect it to go actually up into the mid-high 80% with this healed up Queen. She doesn't have her ability left, but the only big targets that I see that she's got to face up against are going to be a multi-target Inferno and that Royal Champion. Ought to be able to survive, though, so it's just going to be a matter of time to see how many buildings she can take down before things run out.
Yeah, this is going to give INTZ definitely some really good breathing room because they did also get that 2-star. But Yo-Yo is looking to add just a little bit more percent, as much as he possibly can here, trying to get closer to the mid-80s. He has about 14 seconds left. This Queen might not survive this with the Expo, the World Champion. Can he take it? No, the Queen does go down for an 84% 2-star right there. And alternate attacks sitting with three attacks in and 94.7% right now. Really solid, but we've been seeing both these clans put up perfect wars, put up super high percent. So we're going to have to see some really good attacks. We need to see more triples for the team to advance.
Oh yeah, INTZ has got a triple here and now to stay competitive against alternate attacks. Look at the percentage race right now. Alternate attacks ahead by almost 8%. And with that triple that they scored the first couple of attacks, they've got a good star lead as well. But Air is definitely the guy that you want to call in for a ground attack to get the 3-star. He's one of those hitters for INTZ that has gotten the 3-star every single time so far, but he actually is going to be going in with an air attack this time instead. He's got 2 Lava Hounds and 19 balloons to back up this push. The Queen charge is going to get 5 healers to bolster her push into the right corner of this base. Pulled a skeleton trap early, but that's not going to be much of a problem for him, as she'll be able to pop them down pretty quickly here. Multi-target Infernos all over the space. Pretty atypical to see all 3 set to multi-carbon.
Yeah, deciding to run the multi-target Infernos. He did not pull out the full CC, and he did not take out that multi-target Inferno, so that could come to backfire, especially with a Lalo, and he only has 18 balloons. That is not many balloons, which means he's going to rely on this Queen charge to take out so much of this base. And he knows since they are multi-target Infernos, the Queen won't go down to a single, so it's looking pretty strong. As long as the Queen can stay alive, the Lava Hound will go down super easily. The World Champion's moving her way through, and as long as there's the Town Hall finally activates. World Champion's not going to make it past it all too much. But this Queen has potential. Wait a second. Will she target? Yes. Oh, no!
Oh, no!
The Queen!
forces out her ability, and the scatter shot instantly annihilates her. The splash damage from that structure goes through even when she's invisible. Can't be targeted, but can still take damage. Air's attack has just completely fallen apart. Nothing left to say, Carbon Fin. There is no chance at a 3-star now.
No, not at all. With that queen going down, that scatter shot did so much work to the queen. And remember, if you rely onto the queen auto ability, you could potentially lose her if it's that close. And now the eagle all the way on the bottom side. Are we seeing a comeback to all multi-target infernos potentially? Because we are seeing the air attacks coming back. Because if you go up against multis and air expos, that is super difficult to get that 3-star. But look at this. This is going to be the lowest percentage attack of this war and almost one of the lowest percentage of the whole qualifiers, Woody.
Air has bought the farm and no one's buying his goods. Only barely scoring the 2-star here now, pushing into the 60% range, but struggling even just to get that. Laboratory is going to go down and give him just one tiny little bit of help. But wow, INTZ have taken this opportunity and not been able to do hardly anything with it. Alternate attacks defenses are holding up so incredibly well. We questioned whether Volley was making the right call there with those 3 multi-target Infernos, but if you don't have a reliable way to get them down, you're in a lot of trouble, Banks.
INTZ were potentially granted a gift right there to get right back into this match, and they've just squandered it. 60% 2-stars, so unfortunate. Let's take a really quick look at the replay and just see where it all went wrong for Air, Carbon.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that queen going down, he was relying on that queen to stay alive, to help take out the town hall, to scatter the enemy queen, and grab all of that value as he moved around the bottom side of that base. Unfortunate, because he didn't have that many balloons. He was relying on that queen to stay alive the whole time.
Yeah, super unfortunate to see an early stage hit like that fall apart. Got to go take some notes from Bernal, I guess. He's the guy who is best known for his queen charging, but let's go ahead and move on into the next attack. It's going to be from Ast. Ast from Alternate Attacks has got a really strong hit rate as well. He got 2 triples in the first couple of wars for Alternate Attacks. And is moving in now with another hybrid army, one of the highest hit rate squads in the game ever since the recent update. Going to use his CC Yetis to kind of smash through this top left side, taking down a single target Inferno. But an Inferno Dragon still remains, could cause some problems for Ast as it's going to path onto the Archer Queen later. Got to keep him away from heating up or else he can deal a massive amount of damage. And here it goes now. Healers are going to be moving in to support as well. Looks like she'll be able to pop it down.
Yeah, that Inferno Dragon will go down to the poison, and look at this Inferno Tower, this single target Inferno all by itself in the core of this base. A very awkward position here. Let's see how he's going to try to get this queen to path through it. The healers are under race. There's the next super wall break to help try to force this queen towards his Eagle Artillery. Looking pretty solid so far. And where's this queen going to go? No more wall breakers. She should be able to grab the Eagle. There comes the Hive. We're going to charge its way through. And this queen potentially can start to be on the wall to grab that single target Inferno as long as she stays out of range here, Woody.
Hog Riders are moving in and starting to hammer away at the right side corner here. Single target Infernos are no problem for them at all. Ast is going to keep them drilling through this base with the Grand Warden and Royal Champion to back up their hits. These defenses are getting annihilated. Nar mode through the bottom corner now. A big giant bomb's going to go off, but the Eternal Tome will protect them. Starting to hammer away at the Town Hall. Can they keep the Eternal Tome up in time? Yes, they will be protected from the big bomb that goes off there, and that should be the clear path with a 3-star for Ast.
Oh, beautiful job. Was able to pop that Warden ability, perfectly timed, and was able to save everything through all those shots. And look at this. World Champion ability still alive. Look at all these miners still moving their way through. Queen's got her ability. She's going to walk all the way up and around, and the miners are going to come through. Granted, the Hogs did die off here, and the miners don't have too much health. But with this Queen ability, she's going to be able to do massive amount of work. RC pops her ability, takes down some of the Teslas. With 50 seconds left, he's going to have the time to push his way through. The King has just a little bit of health. Very nice job right here. Going to put another 3-star on the board for Alternate Attacks.
I remember taking a look at the stats last year, and one of the biggest signals that an attack is going to turn out to be a 3-star is a queen surviving until the very end. She is looking very healthy, not even having to pop her ability until the last few seconds here for cleanup. Ast is very good with this attack and was well rewarded with a 3-star. Alternate attack swooping ahead now and nearly out of range for an INTZ squad, considered to be possibly the favorites in this matchup, but now falling short with 3 attacks under their belt. They're going to have to put back-to-back 6-pack up here if they want to get back in the race.
Yes, absolutely. INTZ needs to bring the 3-stars to compete here now with alternate attacks and hope that their defense, their final defense, is going to hope, because we haven't even seen a 1-star in this whole competition here so far in the qualifiers, and I don't want to see it, but there's always the possibility, and we're going to see the next attack now coming in from Celino of INTZ. And he's going to come in with this queen to charge hogs, decides to bring 1 headhunter as well with 2 super wall breakers. And look at that clan castle all the way in the core, and there's no value around it, which means going to have to deal with it somehow. Here comes the blimp over towards 3 o'clock. Needs to help take this section down, potentially going to try to charge this queen into the town hall. There it is, drops the rage. Look, gets to this air defense, pulls that CC out, and going to be able to take the scatter out as well. Going to be some nice value with this blimp so far.
Yeah, they're targeting onto the scatter and just gets them to go down thanks to those Yeti mites bouncing onto a Tesla as well. Here comes the queen charge in the bottom right corner. She's going to be able to pull away those CC troops and finish them off without any defensive firepower directly onto her, except for this one little mortar, which isn't going to cause her much problems. Celino for INTZ needs to get that triple. We've said it time and again for this INTZ squad, but really there is no wiggle room at all. They need back-to-back triples here just to get 13 stars and hope that alternate attacks whiffs on their final hit, because it seems like they are far and ahead the favorite on that percentage destruction race and would almost certainly win a tiebreaker on that. So Celino, with barely a hope and a prayer, is going to be moving in with this Archer Queen. Getting fired on by the single target, though, forces out the freeze spell, but that should still be enough for her to be able to finish off the Town Hall. Moving in with the Barbarian King as well to kind of chop through the enemy King. It looks like Celino's first stage has gone according to plan. His 27 Hog Riders don't have any miners to back them up, though. What is going through the mind of a pro player like Celino when he chooses to go for all Hogs rather than going for the hybrid carbon?
Yeah, it looks like Hogs is a great choice when there are a lot of storages when you're moving around with the hybrid, right? So it looks like on the top side, there's some elixir storages there. There's obviously the CC in the court, but the Queen's able to grab that. Sometimes it's the preference of the player. The Hogs can move in, and they go from defense to defense, pops this Grand Warden ability, and they are stronger as long as you can keep the momentum with the Hogs pushing their way around, because the ground scallies can slow up the miners, and typically you end up losing the push with the Grand Warden staying back with the miners because they're a little bit slower than the Hogs since they go out in front for the defenses. But this is looking crushed with another heal still to use. Look at how many Hogs are still alive, and he still has the Queen ability intact. The Wizards are going to be using on the outside for cleanup here. There's just like, I didn't even lose any of these Hog Riders here, Woody.
I didn't notice any of them going down. Celino with just a beautiful hit, a textbook Hog Rider play, has just wiped out this base, has got plenty of time left, and the overall damage ticking up to 100% now. The 3-star guarantee for Celino now for INTZ. The squad is still in it and praying with their fingers crossed that they can get over the hump. An alternate attack squad still beating them by 1 star before we go into the last 2 rounds.
Celino bringing in that second triple for INTZ in this semi-final. But is it going to be enough? But I'm not really sure, because up next for alternate attacks, we do have the captain. It's Boom. But first, let's take a really quick look at this replay, Carbon.
Yeah, it was a beautiful Grand Warden Eternal Tome to protect all those Hogs as they moved into the core of that base. And a lot of people are trying to identify, when do I do hybrid, when do I do Hogs? Well, a lot of times, personal preference of which one you like. The hybrid is safer to do if you're going to charge into the Town Hall. It can save the 2. Hogs can be a little bit more risky, but we're going to see Boom, like you mentioned, coming in for the final attack here for alternate attacks, going in with the Yeti bow bat. Looks to use 5 of these bats with the Yetis and bowlers, and drops the healers onto this Grand Warden to set that Warden funnel. You do have this Town Hall all the way down south at 6 o'clock. So this is a big attack here for alternate attacks. Can they charge? The INTZ needs this defense to be able to help stay in it because of the percentage.
Boom and Marinol, the pitch hitters for these two squads. They both have been flawless in their attack so far. 5 hits from these two guys combined, and all 5 of them have been 3-star hits. It's Boom for ATN.aTTax trying to deliver the nail into the coffin with a 3-star here. ATN.aTTax moves ahead to the finals. Impossible for INTZ to catch up. And as you mentioned, Carbon, it's got to be a 1-star to give INTZ even the slimmest chance. Maybe a 2-star, really low percentage could get INTZ back in the fight, but Boom is not known for giving up that easily. The Yeti Smash with 5 bats to back it up is going to deal a massive amount of damage. Cruising around toward the bottom side of the space where that Town Hall is situated. He's looking really strong with his early Warden ability to protect the troops as they take a ton of shots from the scatter shot. They're moving in now through this top right side compartment and starting to crunch away at the main stage of the space.
Yeah, unfortunately, that Warden ability was super early there. And I think the Queen getting locked down. Did he miss one of the troops that's trying to get into the core? The Blimp is going to take this Town Hall down. But can he adapt here? I don't know if it's going exactly the plan. Because usually you don't ever want to pop the ability for that Warden super early unless you have wall breakers, a Blimp to try to charge his way in. He's pushing his way with the Giant outside. He still has the bats to use. And there's the Headhunters. They're going to run all the way to the core to that Queen. But the enemy Queen is still alive in the core. Oh, this is not looking good.
Yeah, a bit late on that super wall break, but still has got 5 bat spells that he'll be able to drop, backing him up with 3 freezes up top. If we zoom out, we can see the entirety of the attack here as he's dropping these free spells to try to protect these bats from the Wizard Tower. But yeah, as you noted, that living Archer Queen up on top is going to be enough to defend here. Boom from ATN.aTTax slipping up in a rare misplay here, giving them just over 71% now as the Queen goes down. There's going to be some additional cleanup along the outer edge here. But I don't know, even with this relative misplay, ATN.aTTax might still be out of range for INTZ to catch up. We're going to have to crunch the numbers on the backside. Their overall destruction will be going down from 96%, but they've got a 13% destruction lead over INTZ, and I don't know if just a minor fail like this one is going to be enough to get INTZ back into the fight.
Yeah, look at that right there. This is a totally unexpected here for actually Boom of ATN.aTTax. Wow, just unbelievable. He might have forgotten that wall break, and the Queen and the Warden ability was super early here as he was moving around, and then he sent that Blimp in for the Town Hall to try to secure it. But there's a lot of things that went unfortunate. He would have definitely changed. Very nice try from Boom, but now INTZ are looking to get this 3-star right here, and it looks like if they do, can they get the percent victory, because they'll tie it all up on stars. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm crunching numbers right now, and 83.2% with the additional 20%. Looks like they could get up to just an 86.5%, even if they triple here. So I don't think it's possible for INTZ to make the comeback happen, but leave the number crunching for the folks at home. I'm excited to watch Marinol, one of the strongest attackers from INTZ and one of the most consistent 3-star hitters. Let's see what he does here. Starting off with a CC strike, takes it down with the lightning spells and earthquakes as well, right in the gut of the base before he moves in with his triple lava hound, 31 balloon army. No healers for the Queen this time. It's going to be all about the troops to get the job done.
Yeah, this World Champion is going to be used on the outside. It doesn't matter. Marinol has to triple here. The Queen is down south, coming in with the Sui Lao, with the Zap Lao, pretty much, because those lightnings took out the Clan Castle, got the other sweeper on that side. We do have the scatter shot that is hitting onto this Queen. The King burns his ability to run around. Ground Skeleton does pop on each side here, so he's not going to be able to grab the tunnel. I don't think he expected to, because that would have been an incredible amount of value to try to take that down here. But the Queen is going to activate a Town Hall just barely, and now he can fly his way straight in. Does decide to use that Blimp right there.
Yeah, Battle Blimp at the bottom corner directs straight onto the Town Hall and will pop right over it as long as he's brought some troops that... Oh, he's got a Lava Hound in there. Thought that he would have something else. Yeah, the Sneaky Goblins will be good enough to finish off the Town Hall for the first start here. Marinol continuing his path of destruction to the left quarter of the base, dropping some minions on the outer edge to get some cleanup, backing up those balloons as well. He's got a few haste spells and free spells to accompany this push, but man, these balloons are really spread out and are going to need some excellent coverage from Lava Hounds that are going in just a bit too fast for my liking. Marinol's popping those hounds early on, but wow, he's got an awesome spread on these balloons. Free spell on the Eagle Artillery, but that Archer Queen Oh no, Archer Queen's down. That's a Barbarian King that got frozen there. He's not going to cause any trouble for the raid, and with the last pop there, I think that Mario might just have this one, Carbon.
It's going to come down to this World Champion. The Lava Pups are on her. He does have the Grand War Internal Tome still to use. Pops it finally. But unfortunately, the Royal Champion is going to do so much work. The Grand Warden's going to go down here. He gets targeted by the single target Inferno. I don't think these blues are going to have it. This is looking like a defense for Yo-Yo.
Wow, the defenses hold up thanks to that Royal Champion and one single target Inferno. The defenses are going to barely hold on this time. Marinol from INTZ has been denied once again. This INTZ squad has shown up in more playoffs matches in the Clash of Clans World Championships than any other team, and yet they have failed to get the golden ticket one more month in a row. ATN.aTTax will be advancing to the finals to face off against Darkest MuZhan in what might be considered another possible upset. This was always known to be a very close war, but the 13-12 advantage for ATN.aTTax is definitely a decisive win for this squad, which went down to Tribe Gaming in their first war, but have come back on an absolute rampage, undefeated since that time, and doing an awesome job at keeping those 3-star rates high and mighty.
Yeah, the biggest storyline right here is both of the teams that are going to be in the finals both lost the opening matches. They went down to the lower brackets. Unbelievable mindset for both of these clans, and there we see right there ATN.aTTax getting the victory 13-12. Unbelievable.
It really was unbelievable. ATN.aTTax are going to be going through to the finals to face off against Darkest MuZhan. What an incredible performance. And like you said, Carbon took the words right out of my mouth. ATN.aTTax and Darkest MuZhan both lost their opening matches in the bracket. And INTZ and Tribe Gaming were looking so dominant throughout. But unfortunately, you have to bring your A game when it comes to the third day. Championship Sunday, this is the final that we're looking at right now. Darkest MuZhan are going to be going up against ATN.aTTax, Carbon.
Wow, just incredible to see that amazing matches, those amazing triples, and both those clans had the perfect wars earlier, but it was the defenses that helped ATN.aTTax advance right there in the end. Still unbelievable.
It was so incredible, and we are going to hand you over to our resident expert to break down that match. It's, of course, Judo at the Telestrator.
Thank you so much, Banks. Incredible action that we are seeing today. And I wanted to break down the drag bat attack. It is a very popular strategy, but one that we haven't seen too successful in the qualifiers thus far. In this one, INTZ start with a bit of a king swap to the top. That just means using your Barbarian King to take out the enemy king, and he can be used to take out the buildings on the outside of the base to help with the dragons. Now we also have the hero dive method, that Sui hero we talk about, with the queen coming into the town hall and the royal champion in towards the other area of the base. She can take down the scatter shot, and one of the main things we're doing for the dragons is the pathing. Royal Champion taking out part of the base, Queen taking out the top part. Very nice to get the air sweeper here as well. And then that means the dragons can be just deployed in one nice swoop. You want to deploy the dragons together, balloons in front, but check this one out. As the dragons come through, we have to try and keep them in the center of the base, and that's where the Stone Slammer comes into play on the outside. Really like the Grand Warden's ability, nice and early, get all of the dragons, and the important factor here is making sure that the dragons can take down the core. We've seen the bats a couple of times to success, and it's really taking the inside so that the bats can then come around the bottom of the base. Now this is where the splash damage, it was mentioned by Carbon and Woody, how it is so important, and you're far better off freezing early. Make sure the wizard towers do not get a single hit onto the bats. They can get through the defenses very easily, including the air defense. They're just too slow to take down a mass of bats. Now in this one, it's good that Renan recognizes that although the dragons are going down, the bats will go down, he doesn't need to save the back end freeze spell because he has more than enough to finish off the base. However, what it meant was that ATN.aTTax kept themselves going, managed to get the 3 stars again and again, getting themselves to the final. And what an incredible one we are up for, guys. What do you think about the final matchup?
Thank you so much, Judo, for that amazing breakdown. It's just been such an intense day of matchups, all the way leading up, actually. The last 3 days have been absolutely amazing. Carbon, who in particular in these semi-finals has stood out for you?
Well, we've been seeing some amazing performances. Darkest MuZhan coming in with the 14 over Tribe Gaming. Just those attacks were unbelievable. And alternate attacks with the solid defenses to hold INTZ to 12. It's going to be a battle of the offense versus defense, but alternate attacks can also put up potential for a perfect war. So who knows who's going to take it? It's whoever's going to be able to take the risk and brings their best bases here.
And Woody, what do you think about these two teams obviously going down into the losers bracket from day one, fighting their way back up to this thing, to today, in fact? Do you think that it's that extra level of confidence that they've gained from being able to go into the losers bracket and get to this late stage in the finals?
I think they've had that confidence all along. You might say that it's the practice that they got in that losers bracket, moving up through more and more difficult bases. But ultimately, this is why we have double elimination rounds. Sometimes you have a bad war, and sometimes you just wind up wiping the floor with your opponents. It seems like Darkest MuZhan have finally found their groove. They might have been the darkest horse coming into this match, but they are now moving into the finals now, up against a squad that had also dropped early on. These two teams are really monsters, though. Wei, the MVP of the Worlds last year, has been perfect so far. In all 4 wars, he's gotten 3 stars every single time. He is the guy still on everyone's mind.
Yes, I agree. I think that Wei and UZP definitely have carried them through with their level of experience and coming in clutch when they needed to the most. Now, I'm going to hand you back over to Judo, who's going to explain things in a little bit more detail to some of the newer members of the Clash of Clans community. Don't go anywhere.
There are a lot of very small techniques that the pro players use that I want to explain to you. Just in case you hear that terminology in the broadcast, you know exactly what we mean. The first one is a test wall breaker. Now this is basically sending a single wall breaker to the edge of a wall in order to test for a small bomb. Because if there is a small bomb on the outside, if it is the same or greater level than the wall breaker, it will be able to take it out, and the wall breaker is ineffective. So many people will send a test wall breaker to test for a small bomb. They can also check pathing of the wall breaker before they send in their main pack to do the damage. Also, you might have heard a coconut loon. This is very similar. It is a test balloon that is sent in order to try and hunt down black bombs. One of the black bombs would take out air troops. It takes out a balloon, a healer, and you have to be cautious of the army camp space required. Now, a healer is worth 14 troop capacity, and whenever doing a queen charge and you have 4 to 5 healers, that is a massive benefit if you can hold on to them. So sending in a 5 troop capacity balloon, setting off one of them bombs is vital to protect your healers and therefore your queen. You might also hear about cleanup troops. Now this is towards the end of a raid. Whenever an attacker has used defense targeting troops, they have taken out all of the defenses. The defense targeting troops ignore the regular buildings until every single one of them is down. Once they've cleared the defenses, they move to what's known as the trash buildings. These are the storages, the barracks, the army camps, the type of buildings that do not fight back against your troops, and you need some regular troops that attack anything in order to take them out and make sure you do not time fail, which is basically taking out all of the defenses but missing the 3-star by a couple of them trash buildings. An Electron is an entry that many of the pro players use. Now this is when you have a clone spell on top of an Electro Dragon and balloons, hence the name Electron. You send these inside a siege machine, and whenever the siege machine pops, you clone balloons to spread out, try and take defenses in that area of the base. Meanwhile, the Electro Dragon, it can shoot anything and will take down the enemy queen as the primary target. So that is what's known as an Electron. We also have the hero dive method, often termed a Sui hero method. Your heroes, whilst they are the strongest and biggest troops in Clash of Clans, they don't always have to be used as your main attack in the center of the base. Often you can use them just to take out a couple of defenses, some key buildings, create pathing, and this can set up an attack very well. Particularly, you might see the Archer Queen or Royal Champion used in this method. Also, what is very important whenever doing a queen walk or queen charge, that is a very popular method because it's so strong. It's a high skill cap but high reward strategy. If you can use rage spells to other benefits, then you can really get the best value. What I mean by that is if you can use a rage spell not just on the healers but on the queen as well, she gets the added damage alongside the healers getting the greater healing effect. But where the pro players really shine is being able to use this in combination with other troops as well. For example, if you are using wall breakers, we discussed the test wall breaker, but if you can combine wall breakers with a rage spell, they will blow up the walls a lot easier, and that means you don't have to use as many troops. Also, the coconut loon, many people will send this through a rage spell in order to make sure that it gets deeper into the base. It has a better chance of setting off the black bombs, particularly if you figure there might be one there, for example, next to an air defense. Also, it might be that you can send hog riders or balloons through the rage spell to perhaps peel off and get a multi-target inferno, which is dangerous to the healers, so you have to think about where you place the rage to get the queen, the healers, and if you plan to send any troops through it for added value. Now, in terms of base building, this can be a really tricky subject within Clash of Clans. It's difficult to really get into the depth that many of the players get to, but first of all, what you need to identify is what you are trying to defend with your base. Ultimately, you cannot defend everything, and what I would say is you want to try and figure out, do you want to defend a 2-star or a 3-star attack? That might sound a little bit confusing in itself, but if you are to try and defend the 2-star, this is putting the town hall in the center of the base, making it really tricky to path the troops to that, known as an anti-2-star base. However, the downfall is if the attacker can crack the pathing of the base, get the troops to the town hall, the defenses are often laid out in a way that makes the 3-star even easier, and that is where the term anti-3-star comes in. It really doesn't matter about the 2 stars. The town hall positioning isn't necessarily important. You're focusing on that as a defense because you're trying to use the defenses in the most appropriate way to defend the 3-star. Now again, this all depends on the strategy you are trying to defend. Often this is in relation to what the meta is within Clash of Clans, the best attack strategies, and we will get to that in a second. The one thing I would say is try and think about what your opponent is likely to use. The best attacks, try and defend against that. If it's an air style attack, you might have your expos to air, you might really protect your air defense well, have them spaced out, but a general rule of thumb is make sure you do not have a limited area of splash damage. You want a good portion of splash around the base because that means you can protect against a wide variety of strategies. Now, tying into that in terms of the best attacks, what we have seen over the previous months within Clash of Clans is a very ground-based meta. We've seen the Yetis and the Yeti Smash attack strategy being really successful alongside the Hog Riders and Miners, often termed the hybrid attack. Now, what this has led to is a lot of teams trying to heavily defend this strategy. Ground-based expos, positioning of air defense, meaning that you can take advantage of the base with air attacks. So Dragbat being something which is very popular right now, you can send the dragons in to maximum effect, and the bats in terms of coupling where there is limited splash in the base. The Lava Loon is also coming back into play, particularly if you can combine many of the setups of an attack. The Sui Electron into Lava Loon, if you can get the phases correct, it can be very powerful, taking advantage of where the base designers are trying to defend the ground-based attacks. Now, I want to give you an explanation and a breakdown for some of the most popular strategies in the game, just in case you wanted to try it at home. You might have seen these already on the broadcast. Firstly, let's start with one of the most popular ground-based attacks, the Yeti Smash. Now, there are a couple of different variations to the Yeti Smash, but most commonly, what you will see is a Grand Warden walk to start things off. Now, this is where the Grand Warden has fantastic range, so he can reach buildings on the inside of the base a little bit deeper than the Archer Queen could. You want to try and create pathing and set up funneling for your Yetis, whilst also trying to take out some defenses. As a general rule of thumb, you only want to have the Grand Warden for 1 minute doing this task. You might also set up funneling on the opposite side of the base with use of your Barbarian King or the Siege Barracks. What this does is creates a funnel through the center of the base where the Yetis will come straight through. Now, the main things you want to ensure is that you can get to the Town Hall very quickly in terms of that Giga Inferno and Giga Bomb, but also the 2 scatter shots. These are very difficult and will fry all of your troops, especially if they can both shoot at the same time. So trying to make sure that alongside setting up the pathing for the Yetis to get through, you do have easy access and quick access to them defenses. Often this is coupled with a rage spell to really help the Yeti mites getting through, and make sure you have clear pathing with jump spells. If you can use earthquake spells, the beauty of that in terms of opening up bases is that you can also couple that on top of these defenses. So if you have 2 scatter shots, the Eagle Artillery, or a lot of defenses you can do damage onto with the earthquakes, use that to get pathing through the base. Alternatively, with the Yeti Smash, you could start off with a Yeti Blimp method. Now, this is where you send Yetis inside the battle blimp into a certain area of the base, and you may couple this with a rage spell. Typically, it is used to take out that area of the base, including dangerous defenses, whilst luring the clan castle troops, where you can then have clear pathing for a queen walk and take out the clan castle troops. What this is often used for is another very popular ground strategy in that of the hybrid. So what you can do is set up that area of the base, then as the queen walks, you can send the hybrid in front of the queen once you have the pathing, once they can get to the town hall, and you just need to make sure you keep the funnel on the opposite side of the base. That might be with the Barbarian King, baby dragons, or if you do not use the blimp, the Siege Barracks is again a brilliant option for that. How about air attacks though? We've discussed a couple of ground attacks. What if you prefer air, or you notice that a base is likely to be susceptible to air attacks? Probably the 2 most prevalent within the meta right now is the Dragbat and the Lava Loon. Now, for the Dragbat, you want to try and set up pathing similar to the minor attack because dragons attack everything. So this could be with use of a queen charge, it could be with use of a Sui or hero dive method, but you want to thin out the base so that you can send dragons into a particular area. You do have to take note of single target infernos, air defense, air sweepers, being able to path the dragons through, and your primary target is the town hall. If the town hall is not easy to get with dragons, you can actually send the battle blimp through this area and use your Grand Warden's ability to hit the battle blimp and the dragons. Then what you are looking for is once the dragons have taken out got the major splash, your scatter shot, multiple wizard towers, you're sending bats in around the back end of the base. But the main part here is ensuring you get the freeze spell timing down to ensure wizard towers do not wipe out a whole group of bats. Alternatively, if the wizard towers are at the outside of the base, you could use ice golems or anything else to try and distract them in order to help the bats through. The Lava Loon has been incredibly popular from Town Hall 9 and above. However, at Town Hall 13, you have these scatter shots to deal with, and this can be really troublesome, particularly if the defender is clever and can ensure that Lava Hound pathing is out of range of the scatter shot, therefore it locks onto the balloons. Now, the best way around this is to set up phases of the attack. This is commonly with a queen charge, where you charge the queen into the base with wall breakers, try and take down some of the splash in terms of the scatter shot, or you could do the Sui hero method, the hero dive we talked about. Try and just create a little bit of pathing, take down one of them scatter shots, and Electron is often good as well, and you need clear pathing for the Lava Hound around the air defense, but also the balloons since they are defense targeting troops. In terms of spells, your haste spells are very good with this strategy because the balloons do an incredible amount of damage as it is. You just need to speed them up. Now, the main uses of these spells are to get to the splash. Don't worry about single point defense. Make sure you are prioritizing getting to wizard towers, scatter shots, eagle artillery, the town hall. If you are taking the town hall with the Lava Loon, you will have to use your Grand Warden's ability. Unfortunately, the balloons will take too much damage from the Giga Bomb, so make sure you're taking all of that into consideration. But unlike the Dragbat with the Lava Loon, they will only target defenses, so you will need some lava pups and minions behind in order to ensure that you don't time fail. Let's break down some of the most popular attack strategies which you might have already seen in the broadcast. The Yeti Smash. Now, the Yeti Smash is one of the strongest ground-based attacks, and it's all because the Yetis on the inside of the base can do very well with the Yeti Mites jumping across walls. Many people will supplement this with bowlers because they can get very good bounce value in the middle of the base. What you need to do for the Yeti Smash is to set up pathing for them to move into the base. This could be with a Grand Warden walk, commonly at the start of the base, to set up pathing, and it's very easy for the Grand Warden to move into the base once you deploy the Yetis next to him. Don't use the Grand Warden walk for more than around about a minute, otherwise you are at risk of time failing. Now, on the opposite side of the base, you have to be cautious that the Yetis need funneling on that area as well, otherwise there's a chance they could walk and not go into the middle. So the King Siege Barracks are often a good use to do that. However, once you have that narrow path for the Yetis to move into the base, it's all about getting them pathing through the base. This can be done with either a jump spell or with earthquake spells as well, or a combination of them both. If you are to use earthquake spells, I would try and get good value in terms of the defenses. So if you can deploy the earthquakes to open up an area and they get damage to both scatter shots, potentially the eagle artillery, you would probably want to go with the earthquakes for that added damage. However, when you are in the middle of the base, you really want to try and use rage spells to boost the Yetis, boost the bowlers, because you have to get through the splash damage incredibly quickly in order to protect the troops in the middle. Now, the Dragbat is becoming increasingly popular. One of the reasons for this is that a lot of defenders are trying to defend ground attacks, ground expos, non-traditional placement of air defense, so the Dragbat is a good option for you. But how do you do that? Well, initially you need to set up pathing for the dragons to enter the base, very similar to how we set up pathing for the Yeti Smash. You need to make sure that the dragons will move towards the town hall in order to take that down, because if you're using bat spells, they will not be able to get the town hall. They are virtually ineffective against it. So you have to get the town hall with the dragons. Alternatively, you can send the battle blimp in with the dragons and use your Grand Warden's ability in order to get through that. The main purpose of the dragons is to get splash damages. So once you get them into the heart of the base after you've created pathing, you're trying to prioritize the scatter shots and the wizard towers. If there's any multi-target infernos, you would have to prioritize them as well. Whenever you can identify bases that the dragons can take out splash and there's limited of it towards the back end of the base, that's when you might consider the drag bat. Once the dragons have got in, they take the splash, deploy the bats on the outside of the base, let them gain momentum, and as they reach the splash damages, freeze them with freeze spells. This means that a single wizard tower is not going to wipe out a whole group of your bats. Alternatively, if the wizard tower is at the side of the base, it might be you can send an ice golem in to distract that instead of wasting an entire spell. You might have heard the attack strategy, the hybrid. This is getting the best of both worlds as a ground-based attack in terms of hog riders and miners. Now the reason for combining them is that they will do different things. The hog riders can path straight to the defenses, meanwhile the miners can help to take out the queen, the royal champion, any heroes, and make sure you don't time fail. However, the hog riders are faster than the miners, so typically you will see people sending miners in first with hog riders following up, and for that reason you often see less hog riders and more miners within an attack. Now, because miners attack any building, it also means you have to set up that pathing. So you have to make sure they have a clear area into the base, but also through the base so they do not get caught and come to the outside. Typically, people will use the Barbarian King and Siege Barracks to keep the miners on the inside of the base with the hog riders supporting, and what you want to try and do is use heal spells across the areas of splash, wherever they are in immediate danger. If you do have any rage spells to use within this, try to use them in areas where the miners will stall a little bit, wherever they are high HP buildings, such as the scatter shots, the expos, maybe storages within the base, and if you can couple this with the Grand Warden's ability, they will be immune and fly through that area incredibly quickly with the rage spell, and mean that you can get the dangerous defenses down quickly. Many of you might have already heard of the Lava Loon attack strategy. It's very popular from Town Hall 9 and above when you first unlock the Lava Hounds. However, at Town Hall 13, it's a little bit more tricky because of the scatter shot. However, in the current meta of the game, when people are trying to defend the ground-based attacks, we are seeing a lot of ground expos, single target infernos to stop queen charges, and therefore it does leave bases vulnerable to the Lava Loon. Now, the main things about the Lava Loon is setting up pathing for the balloons to follow a specific track. Because they are defense targeting troops, you can't just send them into the base and know where they will go. So if you think of the base as 4 corners, ideally, and it can change with the base design, you want to take out at least one of the corners so that you know exactly where the balloons will go. For example, if you have used a queen charge to take out one corner and you now just have an L shape of the base, the balloons will track over that area, and that's why you will see some of the top players deploying balloons around this track. So what it means is that the balloons can take the defenses on the perimeter and then they group together as they approach the middle of the base, and it ensures that you can get through the middle of the base, which is where you will see the main defenses, the scatter shot, the eagle artillery, multi-target infernos. That's also where you want to use your spells. Now, in terms of the Lava Loon, balloons do a lot of damage. They're just very slow. So the haste spells are your best friend to make sure that you can speed them up to the splash damages, and you might even freeze through them, but they have to be your priority when planning a Lava Loon attack. Now that you know the top attack strategies in Clash of Clans, what really makes pros pros? Well, it's being able to customize these attacks to the base itself. So what you might see is people can adjust the phases of an attack in order to take down the weaknesses of a base. So you might see a queen charge to set up a lava loon, a hybrid, or a drag bat. Alternatively, you could also see a hero dive method to set up these attacks, or an electron. And really where the top level play comes is if you can identify the most effective phase for an attack, and it might be using multiple phases in order to pick apart the base slowly, chip away at it as effectively as possible, before then selecting the most appropriate strategy for the final part of the attack, depending on what pathing and defenses are left. And this is where we see a lot of unorthodox and highly customized strategies from the pro players to set their funnel, to open up the attack, to finish things off, even thinking of cleanup and how to effectively do that. The better you can piece the puzzle together to customize to the base, the higher success you will have, and that is where pro players really shine. For example, in terms of customizing attacks, the Yeti Smash can be used in a number of different ways. If you can get good value from your Grand Warden, reaching across to a defense such as an Inferno Tower whilst setting up the funnel, it might be that a Grand Warden is a really good use to set pathing and get damage. However, it might be that if the clan castle is within this area as well, you can actually use the Yeti Blimp method instead to ensure that you take out that area, but also you're luring the clan castle troops. It can also be a time-effective way of doing it, since the Grand Warden takes a little bit longer. So you have to look at the opening area and think about exactly what will be the best method, not just to take down that area with the least amount of troops, but also how much time that is going to take you, because you have to think it's a 3-minute timer. The rest of the attack has to get through that. Depending on your decision initially, it also might depend on what strategy you use. For example, the Yetis could be really good to get through the base, but if you are able to take down some air defense and potentially sweepers with that Yeti Blimp, it might be you change and you decide to use dragons through the area instead, and that's where customizing really comes into play. And that's just a quick example with the Yeti Smash as well. This goes across any strategy. Now, an attack strategy that was very popular last year, and I loved watching it in the World Championships, was the mass hog riders. However, at Town Hall 13, with the addition of the scattershots and the Royal Champion, it's a little bit more tricky to do. This was the signature move of runners-up MCES, but can they get it to work at this year's World Championships? Now, I feel they might be able to, so long as they can customize the bases effectively. If they could take out the Town Hall and the scatter shots, meanwhile being able to distract or take out the heroes with a different method, they could still use the mass hog riders to effect, because they would be taking out the dangerous defenses in the initial phase and customizing it to a strategy that they know they are comfortable with. And when you're confident with a strategy, you never know what the pro players can do. A couple of common mistakes that happen to the best of us, even the pros can hit this, and it depends on that fine line between taking the risk and missing your opportunity. One of the most common is not raging your queen early enough. If you are doing a queen charge or a queen walk, you have to recognize how many point defense will be targeting your queen at any one time, and raging early enough to protect her health. You don't want to wait until her health gets too low, because she might not be able to heal up quick enough, especially if there is a sweeper pushing at your healers as well. It might be that you can use a single spell slot in terms of a freeze to help with this, but you have to try and properly identify how many defenses will be shooting at your queen, so you can think ahead of time of where you are likely to need the spells. Now, in terms of the Town Hall, we've all done this one in a single attack format. You have to have a backup plan for the Town Hall. Irrespective of your strategy for the 3-star, if it doesn't quite go right, you need to be able to adjust on the fly, and ultimately getting that 2nd star is vitally important. Sometimes percentage really goes on the back burner and you have to just secure that star. So making sure you have a backup plan, whether that be switching your siege machine to something else, switching where you are attacking from to make sure that your main push can hit that Town Hall, saving the Royal Champion, you just have to have some level of backup plan. And if you take too much of a risk and you don't have a backup plan, you have a much better likelihood of missing the 2-star and really having a big impact on your team when there is only 5 attacks. Another common mistake is not setting up your funnel. Now, whilst this again can be a thin line between taking the risk to get it right and also making sure you've done it effectively, you have to pre-plan how many troops you need for a particular area. If you're not sure, you're probably better off to take more than needed to make sure you can set that funnel. And try and take troops that could be transitional, such as a baby dragon could also be used in order to take out a defense or as cleanup, but you have to make sure you have a wide enough funnel, because let's say if you are trying to get Yetis into the inside of the base and they walk around the outside, it is incredibly difficult to then correct the attack and you are likely to fail altogether. So getting the very first part correct is something you have to do. Also, you have to be wary at the complications of the attack. How complex are you making it? Because if you have to focus on your queen, your barbarian king, your hybrid, too many different things at once, you can very easily miss something. Your queen might go down, you might miss a heal spell which was needed on a double giant bomb with the hybrid. So you have to make sure that whenever you're planning your attack, as complex as it might be, you have to be able to focus on different areas. And that's why, whilst you need to phase your attack and make sure you merge them well, you've got to be able to break them down in a way that you can focus on all of the different points and not miss anything. So you've been enjoying the broadcast, you want to get involved with the competitiveness within Clash of Clans. What should you do? Well, my advice would be to ensure you are continuing to practice to perfect your game, but also you need to make sure that you have your team. Your team of 5, you need to surround yourself with people that are like-minded, that have that same drive that you have, and make sure that you are working together as a team. Think about the variety as well. If you all offer the same thing, then it might not be the best to team up. You need to think of trying to surround yourself with people that offer something different to you. Maybe you are an expert at the lava loon. You might want to select someone that's also an expert at the hybrid, or maybe someone that can attack with a variety of strategies. Perhaps you need someone in your team that can help you with plans or help you with base building. You want to try and get a good variety in your team of 5, and then you can sign up via ESL Play to compete to get to the qualifiers. Now, what I would say is make sure you're enjoying this as well. It's incredibly difficult to get to this level and to qualify. It's very unlikely that people will be able to do it on their first time. So you have to be able to keep trying, keep analyzing what you are doing in order to improve, and keep having fun at the end of the day as well. Alternatively, if you have a larger clan family and you can progress with your team up to Champions 1 in-game for the Clan War League, then you need a roster of 15 people, and it's all down to how good you perform that week. If you are the best in the world, your team will be invited and you can select your top 5 players from there. Now we have the final coming up. That is going to finish it off from me in this segment. I hope you have learned a thing or two, but let's send you across to the casters for the all-exciting final matchup.
Love a detailed video there, Judo. Definitely educational for all levels of Clash of Clans players, and just goes to show how important the finer details are in your attacks. Now, quickly, Carbon, what is your favorite attack strategy currently?
Well, currently it's been always the Suilal that Judo mentioned many times, but with this recent update is still involving the Lalo, but it's going to be the Zap Lalo involving the new reworked lightning spells, my absolute favorite at the moment.
And Woody, what is your favorite element of the update?
Oh, I love the Headhunter. I think that there were so many problems that players were running into going up against bases that had 4 different heroes spread out all across the map. But with the Headhunter now, you finally have a troop that can target directly onto those. Super troops come in at a close second, but we often see only super witches being the only super troop that forms the bulk of an attack. So I gotta say Headhunter is my #1 thing right now.
Well, it's almost time for the final. The teams are so close, and it's almost within grabbing distance, that golden ticket. But first, I'm going to hand you over to Judo at the Telestrator, who's going to break down one more of the attacks from the second semi-final.
Thank you, Banks. Yes, I thought it would be important to explain the differences between the Yeti Bobat and the Dragbat. I explained the Dragbat that we've seen from INTZ, but we had this fantastic replay from Vale of ATN.aTTax. Starts off with the Yeti Blimp, which I was just explaining, and you have to consider whether to use a rage spell in this segment or not, depending on what you are trying to get. The Grand Warden can then set up pathing to allow the rest of the troops in. But why does he use the Yetis? Well, as Carbon was mentioning with the hybrid, sometimes it's personal preference, but at this level, the guys can do everything. On this base, there is sweepers pointing down to the bottom of the base, which means if we take a look at this, what you want to get with Yetis or with the dragons is the splash damage. If we were to send dragons in here, they'd be getting pushed back by the sweepers all of the time. Not to mention, we have 2 air defense down in the bottom. If you check and re-look at the Dragbat attack, there was limited air defense and the sweepers were not there. However, irrespective of using the Yetis or the dragons, you're trying to take out a massive area of the base, take down all of the splash damage as best as possible. And this is where a lot of the attack can look like it's going south, but as long as you've got the dragons, the bats, you can get the job done. So we only have 2 wizard towers. In this one, the royal champion takes down the first, so the bats can just move freely through the defenses, and you want to start off away from the wizard towers if possible. The reason for that is if they do happen to go down, you have a little bit of a lifeline that there's not as much left, but also the bats gain so much more momentum because they continue to spawn, so you've got a better chance of hitting the wizard towers and taking them down quickly. Now, before we get into the incredible final, I cannot wait. Let's take a quick look at the recap from last year's grand final.
What a momentous weekend that was for Clash of Clans esports. So, 3 days of intense competition. We have 2 clans left. What are your predictions, Carbon?
We're going to have a great war. We've seen both these clans battle from the lower bracket just to get here, and ATN.aTTax has put up a perfect war earlier, so I don't know. We're going to see maybe ATN.aTTax come in favored in this one, but Darkest MuZhan has defeated some amazing opponents to come into this position. They definitely have the chance. It's going to be a great war here.
And Woody, quickly, what about you?
ATTax has definitely got the stronger offense before today started, but with the 14 stars that Darkest MuZhan put up in their war, they are now neck and neck. I think Darkest MuZhan's advantage on defense is what's going to give them the win in this final match. First off, we're going to see Linade coming in from ATTax. He's got that hybrid army that Carbon loves so much, bringing in one of those headhunters too, just to make me happy.
Yeah, decided to use the Queen charge up top into the single target Inferno on Kartik's space, and the Queen's got the healers right onto her with some balloons down. Yet the single target Inferno is yet to lock onto this Queen with that rage nice and early. Get ready for a potential ground skeleton to pop. Let's see. Oh, wait, no. The single target Inferno is going to go down super quick, easily right there. No worries. Only had to invest one free spell for this charge through here. I'm going to be able to grab a lot more value, but 2 ground expos. But look at this. Clan Castle is pretty far away from this Queen. Has yet to pull it out.
This charge is massive for Linade, was able to take down a bunch of big targets without even getting engaged by the World Champion. Finally finishes her off, and with an additional rage spell on top, will crack through another layer of defenses. That's a lot of expos firing away at her.
Oh.
She still has her ability, holding on to it for so long. Linade finally uses it, but a third of the base is already destroyed. This is a very successful Queen charge to start things off. As we now move into the second stage of the attack, the Hog Riders are coming on in. A Siege Barracks to back up and support the funnel on the bottom side, while these miners are helping in the interior, but didn't get the pull there. That Lava Hound is going to get negated, though. Only the World Champion targeting onto there. Nice use of the World Champion's ability. Actually, that was the Grand Warden's ability to protect from that Town Hall, Carbon.
Yeah, unfortunately the Queen goes down, but look at the Lava Hound and Inferno Dragon. The Lava Hound stole that Royal Champion up, did not take it out or deal with that Hound from the charge of the Queen, so had to do it with the Royal Champion, and now these miners are getting stalled up. These Hogs have died off into the core, and unfortunately he's not going to have this push through. He's not going to be able to get to the Eagle Artillery. The Queen kind of looped around and went to the top side and avoided that Eagle, so it did a massive amount of damage, and Linade's going to fall short here, and it's going to be a lower percent 2-star that we've normally seen from him in this war here.
Yeah, it was an awesome start with that Queen charge, but she went down on the outer side, just taking too many shots. Those healers strained to support her as best they could, but I think that the bigger fail here was with the main force of the attack. The Hogs and the Miners seemed to barely even get through the first couple of compartments on this base. So much firepower on the backside, and that is really playing to Darkest MuZhan's strength here. Their defenses have held up incredibly, only 64% 2-star, the worst hit that we've seen from Linade so far in this qualifier series.
Yeah, unfortunate attack right there. I was surprised he didn't try to lure out the CC to deal with that Queen, because it stalled up the Royal Champion and unfortunately wasn't able to get that value with the hybrid to push his way through. And we're seeing the Inferno Dragon come up clutch, being able to be used as a defensive CC. I don't think we've seen it on offense yet once, but we're now jumping into Kartik, so he put up an amazing defense. Now can he come in with the attack for Darkest MuZhan and start them off for a potential triple? He's going in with the Yeti Bat. He's got one head under. The Grand Warden finds a Tesla farm right here with a Skelly that's going to slow him down. Oh, he's going to force this rage. That was a beautiful Tesla farm from Linade right here to have to force that rage spell right there.
Yeah, very scary find for Kartik, but if he's able to deal with it, which it looks like he is, that could give him a little bit of a leg up toward the later stage of the hit, not having to worry about that Tesla farm later on. Could help out with the cleanup, but yeah, having to invest several boulders as well, which now won't be available for the main stage of the attack. He's thrown away a Yeti on the top side to provide some additional funneling here, but man, he's really invested a lot and has kind of hit his head against the wall here. Firing back at Linade now. It's interesting that it's Linade attacking first against Kartik, and now Kartik attacking back against Linade in the very second attack. But yeah, 64% is the standard to beat set by ATTax. Darkest MuZhan eager to pull ahead, and with a really reliable army comp now, the Yeti bowlers should be able to crash through here. The bats on the back end have got not much to worry about, especially with these two multi-target Infernos being the first things to go down from Kartik's attack.
Exactly. Now he drops this blimp. Because these balloons tested for seeking air mines, he doesn't have to pop that Grand War Internal Tome for the battle blimp, but he finds a tornado trap. Uh-oh, it's getting spun around the... Oh, he does freeze his air defense because he needs to make sure this blimp gets to this town hall. But these multi-target Infernos did amazing work onto those bowlers into the core. The Hound does pop, and these pups went down south, unfortunately. Still has the World Champion, but hang on, these
targets for me, Carbon Finn. I don't know how they're going to be able to finish off after this. Finally get the Town Hall, but man, even just barely, the Battle Blimp crashes in, but those two multi-target Infernos are actually still alive. The Infernos that I thought were going down relatively early are holding up and dealing a massive amount of damage here. Just like Volley's multi-target Infernos, this could be the saving grace of this base. Bats are coming in now, but there are still way too many targets to finish off. It's just barely going to get the 2-star with the cleanup along the edges.
Yeah, exactly. That freeze onto the Wiz Tower. Oh, the Wizard was a little too early. It's not going to be able to grab as much percent now because that cannon took it out, using the freeze down south on this Wizard Tower. But those multi-target Infernos, the healers did not transfer off. Normally, setting Yetis into multis with healers on them is a really good call to keep them alive, no worries. But in here, that was a massive amount of damage. Unfortunately, Kartik's going to fall very short, but he is going to just edge out on percentage over Linnade's first attack. So Darkest MuZhan will have the advantage, but it's not much. You would think that that low percentage from alternate attacks would give Darkest MuZhan the opportunity to step up, but it's still going to be anyone's war at this moment.
That's right, a slim lead for Darkest MuZhan. And remember, though, these clans are preparing during a very short period of time. While we enjoyed that brilliant commentary from Judoslav, they were hard at work trying to figure out the best ways to deconstruct these bases. A little bit of an advantage for Darkest MuZhan, but definitely not falling up, rising up to the task, rather, of what we had expected from them so far, Banks.
Darkest MuZhan and ATN.aTTax off to a slow start in our final. Definitely not something that we were expecting. Maybe nerves have got slightly the better of them. I'm not entirely sure. Let's take a quick look at this replay, Carbon, from Kartik.
Yeah, this is a beautiful use of the Warden ability for the wall breakers, but the problem is he decided to go with sneaky goblins, and that Warden ability probably might have just been a little bit too early. That multi-target Inferno and all that damage into the core, if he saved the Warden for that section, maybe he would have been able to push his way through the base and get a little bit more value. But now we're going to be jumping straight into the very next attack from ATN.aTTax. It's going to be Vale, and he's coming in with the Drag Bat. Drops the Baby Dragon up top, does have that super wall breaker, trying to get his queen to go for this air defense in the second layer, with the World Champion going for the other side air defense. And take note, we do see a multi-target next to the clan castle all the way in the core with two sweepers there as well. Let's see if he can get some nice values, and he still has, unless he switches it, he's got that Stone Slammer, Woody.
Sure does, and we've seen this Dragbat successful before. 11 dragons is nothing to sneeze at, and really difficult to get the 3-star, but against very certain bases it has been done, and it has been done quite recently in this qualifier as well. Volley's going to be coming in from the very top side of his base, has got a Slammer, as you mentioned. That can be maybe switched out to a Battle Balloon if he feels like there's a problem that he has to go for the Town Hall later for, but this is actually a pretty good tornado trap for Volley. It's going to come down relatively early in this raid, and it won't mess up those dragons down on the backside, but they've got a really clean path straight for the Town Hall right now. They're getting burnt out by this Inferno, but have taken it down relatively quickly, and with another few free spells available to them, I expect to see those coming out to protect against the massive firepower from this Giga Inferno, or maybe from the single target Infernos in the backside. Grand Warden Eternal Tome will protect all of the left side dragons, but misses the one over on the right. That's going to really split up this attack and make it difficult to get the 3-star, Carbon.
Yeah, thank goodness he sent the blimp to go for the Town Hall, because the dragons just split all the way around. Look at the bats being used right on top of the scatter shot, not needing to use the freeze because of that small circle. Drops the freeze perfectly on the bottom Wizard Tower, but these dragons have died off. It was a perfect, like, unbelievable funnel, but the dragons split in different directions, and unfortunately this one is looking like another defense for Darkest MuZhan.
Something I think that Vale didn't count on was the CC troops coming out of that blimp after the Grand Warden ability had already been used. And so because the blimp reached the Town Hall, dropped the troops, they actually all died when the Town Hall went down because they weren't protected by that Eternal Tome. Vale getting actually the highest overall damage percentage that we've seen from any attack so far, and enough to catch back up to Darkest MuZhan, but still another hit on board and yet another miss. No 3-star from either squad yet. The finals have really been shaken up. Both teams, the defense is just holding really strong here so far, Carbon.
I think it has a lot to do with the nerves here, trying into the very first qualifiers, and who is going to be the very first one to get that triple for their team. I can't see this going to the 10-10. This has got to be at least 2 triples, at least from one of the teams here, maybe 12-12. And will we see potential for alternate attacks and come back with more, like 3 more to wrap it up with triples? But still, we're going to have to see some really solid defenses so far. Maybe they saw their bases getting hit in the previous war, switch up some traps and go with that. But Volley's Dragon split in all these different, in 2 different directions here. Thank goodness he sent that blimp to go straight for that Town Hall, save that one there. But yeah, unfortunately lost that momentum push. There was a lot of damage on the backside.
Yeah, I think it was actually the saving graces of that air sweeper on defense from UZP, splitting up the attack by pushing some of the dragons to the right and some of them over to the left. That's what resulted in him not having the concentration of firepower that he was looking for to at the second stage of that. Missed out on the Grand Warden Eternal Tome on a few dragons over on the right side, and ultimately fell short there. Wiped out the left side and got the percentage destruction above Darkest MuZhan, but Wei is going to have a clear opportunity now to pull far ahead. A 3-star master from this squad is going to be attacking now with the hybrid army that has been so successful in the past.
Yep, we're seeing the blimp that got a nice value. There's the poison spell. Look at this Inferno Dragon. Let's keep our eye on it. Where is it going to go? And oh, wait, it's going to lock on this queen here. She's getting slowed down. Drops that free spell because that Headhunter was slowing down the queen. So now the queen's gonna make her way into the core, which is near that air defense. And then we're gonna see the potential of the king on the other side for the Town Hall, or the king could even just grab the Town Hall on the outside and send the hybrid somewhere else. But this queen does, oh wait, it does have 1 super wall breaker. It's gonna come down to the value that Wei can get with that queen there, Woody.
It's a bit atypical to put the Town Hall all the way outside the walls. Usually when you want to make your opponents at least sweat a little bit in their attempt to take it down, but that's going to be a really easy target for Wei now, who's instead going to have to worry a bit more about this Eagle artillery on the back end, super far away from the rest of this base, and going to be really hard to get to. Spread out scatter shots along the interior as well are scary, and an Archer Queen still looking healthy on the bottom left side. That's going to be quite difficult to reach. Wei's going to rage up his Archer Queen, but that's going to force out the ability as she takes down that single target Inferno and makes her way to the rest of the defenses. Defending Archer Queen hasn't engaged yet, and the attacking Archer Queen has lost her ability. That's going to be a big hit for her. He tries to move through the space with healers that are taking so much firepower from that scatter shot, Carbon.
Yeah, those healers were getting whacked by the scatter shot as they were going right by. The queen already burned her ability. She's getting stuck on the wall. Unfortunately, the hybrids moving their way through. The Eagle artillery is still standing up on the backside of the space. Drops the heal. Royal Champion's got her ability. Well, no, the queen just goes down now. Is he going to have just enough? The enemy king is going to do some massive work on defense to stall these troops up, but he needs to push his way through. Oh, the scatter shot is not locking onto the large group. It's locking onto the Royal Champion of all the troops here.
That's good luck for Wei, but still a lot of damage has been dealt against these Hog Riders from splash damage structures all over the space. The Bomb Tower and Wizard Tower is still standing strong. The Scatter Shot's going to retarget out into the Hogs and finish the rest of them off. This base didn't hold up too well, but hey, it's still standing. The bulk of the attack is now down. Wei is fast approaching that 90% mark, but there's just too little for the cleanup along the outer edges. And I think that Boom's defense is going to be able to barely hold on. Still no triples for either squad here, Carbon Finn.
Wow, yeah, these defenses are holding strong. Were these the defenses, these bases that they were holding for at this moment? Granted, I don't know. I personally would have tried to use my best bases at the beginning to get to this moment, because if you don't make it here, then you can't even use these bases to begin with. But still, these bases have been putting up some really solid defenses. Really nice try there from Wei. Banks, it's Matt. This final here is just to speak of the defenses, not the offensive strategies right now.
Exactly, a 92% 2-star from Wei. A really good start. Obviously, we've still yet to see that first triple, but yes, like you mentioned, Carbon, it is the base building and the defenses that are holding up at the moment and that are really standing proud and keeping both of these teams still in the race. It is still anyone's match, Woody.
You know, I called before the match that Darkest MuZhan have got the stronger defenses, but I didn't imagine that it would be 4 attacks and 2 stars all the way around for these guys. Maybe JoJo is going to be the first one to be able to turn up the heat and get that triple. He's brought 3 Lava Hounds and 28 balloons to this aerial assault. No healers to back up a queen charge in this one. Instead, going to be zapping down the middle of this base, taking out the clan castle and a few of the surrounding buildings here. Now goes to the main attack with the top side. Ice Golem to block for a couple of the heroes and even a Valkyrie in there to swing her axe around and deal some damage to those defenses. Catches a couple of the Teslas on the top side. That's going to be a good catch for JoJo early on, despite the fact that it's going to cause a little bit of trouble for his funnel. He's going to drop his Royal Champion and expect to see the Archer Queen coming in soon after to support the remainder of this attack on the top side to deal with that Town Hall.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if he's able to end up getting to this Town Hall there and path this queen potentially there. The king is working on the Royal Champion. The enemy king is still standing over there. Will this queen go here? He does have 1 barbarian, which I'm gonna be interested. Oh wait, it is a corner. Which he can drop. Yeah, the queen is gonna go straight for this Town Hall. Beautiful final set. And now that he got the scatter shot, he got both sweepers. And look at this, the other scatter shot is gone. If I'm looking here, there is no scatter shot left in the space. The Stone Slammer's coming down south. He can fly around with no sweeper. This is looking really solid.
JoJo starts the attack from the right side corner, sends in the Grand Warden to bolster this balloon army. One of those Lava Hounds is getting burnt to a crisp by the Inferno Tower, but barely makes it to the other side. That means that all of those pups are going to be splashing down to the bottom. At the same time, both of the Lava Hound pups have now exploded. There's a dragon now going to back up the rest of this push as the Stone Slayer has gone down, firing away at that Archer Queen. It's going to be enough to kill her. That's a Grand Warden. Eternal Tome catches the dragon, and that's enough to keep it alive. The Archer Queen goes down, and JoJo's on a rampage, sending the balloons to the left side corner. There's no more splash damage structures that can stop him. I think we finally found our first 3-star, Carbon.
Woody, we finally did. Yo-Yo coming in with a beautiful Lalo attack. Look at the value that he got flying around here. Dragon still cleaning up. A million loons still going through with over a minute left in this attack. The first 3-star of the grand finals going to alternate attacks. Beautiful job. So much value with the lightning, with the Sui of the heroes. Got the Town Hall and just flew around the space. Perfectly executed for alternate attacks, and now they have the advantage and the pressure is put onto Darkest MuZhan.
JoJo is a running riot. This guy cannot be underestimated. Look at the skill, waiting for the perfect moment to get that Grand Warden Eternal Tome off, protecting all of these troops and getting them raged up as well. Right on target with a perfect plan and the flawless execution. The spread on these balloons has got to be mentioned as well. Grabbing that last remaining Inferno Tower from the top side of the base while the bulk of the force moved along the bottom side. And yeah, as you mentioned earlier, without the scatter shots to defend that base, there was nothing to stop those balloons from flying high.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we have UZP coming in, and we have a Sui Lalo, but, well, we actually have 2 E-Drags. So this might be closer to charging E-Drags into the Eagle, the Queen. Is this kind of a little bit of an E-Drag push into the base into a back end Lalo? Let's see, normally I've been seeing some of this. I think this is the first time. I think I used to call or read. I haven't seen it for like forever at Town Hall 13, like the YOLO Tro, which uses like a clone spell and things like that. And yeah, it looks like we have an E-Drag. Usually you will send an E-Drag, the Stone Slammer, to charge in to get value because their enemy World Champion and the Queen are standing right next to each other here.
UZP a bit late on his Barbarian King ability, let him get burnt up by that Inferno Tower, and that's going to miss out on quite a bit of the early stage funnel here. But nonetheless, the Archer Queen is going to come in to be able to finish the job, pops it down before we get the big hit. Moving in now, 2 Electro Dragons to assist the backside Stone Slammer here. They're targeting that Eagle Artillery and need to take it down because it can dish out a ton of damage to those balloons. Big target though right next to that scatter shot is going to go down relatively early in this raid. Can they also finish off these 2 Royal Champion and Archer Queen heroes, Carbon?
He lost one of the E-Drags to the bottom side, unfortunately, and that's going to be massive because now the enemy World Champion and the Queen are still up in the core. Needs his E-Drag to skip onto them. No, but the Air Skellies are absorbing the shots here. Needs his E-Drag. Yes, the E-Drag shot gets those heroes down, Woody. Wow.
Electricity from the skies, lightning like Thor's hammer, pounding down on this base. Jojo might have just gotten a 3-star, but he might be 3-starred on his own. Use
The headhunter
falling forward onto this town hall now with balloons all over the place, protected by a Grand Warden's Eternal Tome. Drop the bomb and the town hall is finished, but will that protect long enough to protect the bomb? No! The bomb goes off, and once again, a big hit that seemed destined for 3 stars has taken a massive setback.
Oh my gosh, Woody, the headhunters came out of that defending clan castle and forced that warden ability to pop super early, so he lost the perfect timing on it, and then those loons took massive amount of damage over the town hall, and he not able to take it down. Wow, he lost all those balloons and those headhunters. You are thinking you definitely want to use them now when you're defending clan castle. Woody, it was just that small thing, but he was able to get a lot of value, and he lost one of the E-Dregs on the outside there. He wasn't able to get more chain value, and that's going to be another defense banks for alternate attacks.
That is exactly what alternate attacks were looking for. UZP had the opportunity to bring back a 3-star, and then they would have had the percentage difference in their favor. However, by only being able to clutch up that amount of percentage, all he needed was above 81% to put Darkest MuZhan in the lead. However, alternate attacks take the lead, and it's still anyone's game.
If the Electro Dragon had just been able to take down that air sweeper, or if the second Electro Dragon had gone toward that queen instead of looping around to the outside, then that middle of the base would have been absolutely gutted. The attack looked really good besides that. That main force pathing over the town hall and just a slightly early Grand Warden ability was ultimately what resulted in the fail, though, in my opinion. We still now have alternate attacks ahead in both stars and overall percentage. Let's see if Ast can keep that pressure going.
Yep, and we have Ash coming in with the 4 Super Witches. This is very, I don't even know, Woody, did we see any Super Witches coming from alternate attacks at all in here in the qualifiers? We've seen the other clans come in with a handful of Super Witches, not too many, but this, I don't know if this is the first time with these Super Witches here for alternate attacks, but they're coming in, 4 of them with 2 jump spells to go into the base and dropping all the Super Witches. Oh no! They're all getting targeted by the Eagle Artillery. Hopefully it doesn't do too much damage. Healers can help heal them back up. Pops that ability right in the beginning, and out comes that clan castle.
The Grand Warden ability was forced because the Eagle Artillery was firing down on him. That just is another problem with an early stage of the attack like this. The Warden Walk has to stay safe, and with that, he's lost a major offensive tool for his kid here. Ast is going to add some Hog Riders into the top side, trying to take care of that signal target Inferno. But wow, he's got a lot of heat to worry about in the middle as well. Finishes off the enemy Archer Queen and is going to continue his jump through this base. That Eagle Artillery taking some shots now, but Ast has not been able to finish it off yet. And it is just raining down hellfire on this attack, Carbon Fin.
Yeah, and he's got his push into the core of this base. The Royal Champion is down south, still has 1 more freeze, and look at this, we still have 4 more balloons to use. Queen burns her ability here in the core, uses the freeze finally on the single target Inferno, but the Queen does go down. There are a few Super Witches still alive. These big boys are tanking quite a bit. Pops the Royal Champion ability, down goes the single. Is he going to have just enough? He's going to try to find the perfect opportunity to use these balloons. He might just be able to get this one, Woody.
This Super Witch army is like a big couch. You got a lot of wiggle room. They spawn those big boys out in front, and with healers on the backside, even if they take a big hit, they're pretty beefy themselves. They can take a lot of shots and keep on swinging. Ast has got 79% with 40 seconds left, and quite a few forces still left on the field here. Triggers a tornado trap a little bit late here, and he's gonna have to swing around through these walls to get to the backside, but I think that he's going to run out of time potentially here, Carbon Fin.
Yeah, the biggest thing is time now. He's got the 1 balloon that he's going to try to... Oh, he finds a Seeking Air Mine with that balloon. It is going to be the time issue right there. The time fail. The Witches will probably be able to stay alive here with those healers on them. And the big boys are trying to help beat through the wall. The Wizards on the outside, yeah, it's going to be just in the mid 90%, 95% 2-star there with the Super Witches. You can see it's never over because they can keep spawning those big boys, which have a massive amount of HP. Even for the back end, you just have to be very careful. Very nice try right there, giving the advantage even more right now to alternate attacks. Darkest MuZhan really needs to step up, and there is the replay with the poison into the core. That Inferno Dragon Lava Hound really did stall things up there, Woody.
Time to clash, as Adam said it best in chat. That was a savage black mine. If that balloon had been able to pass through the remaining defenses, take down that cannon and archer tower, that still might have actually been a triple. 95% is so razor close to victory there, but nevertheless, Ast is going to keep alternate attacks in the lead right now. They've got the advantage on stars and are going to be pushing forward with an 84% average destruction. That's pretty significant given the fact that a couple of early attacks from both teams were relatively low on the overall destruction. Alternate attacks is still the team to beat here, Carbon.
Absolutely. Now we're going to see the next attack coming in for Chin of Darkest MuZhan, deciding to go in with the Yeti Smash. We've seen Judo talk about it many times, and we've seen it being used in the qualifiers here several times with multiple 3 stars. Definitely has a great opportunity at 3-star as long as you overwhelm and you time that Grand Warden ability perfectly. And we do have the Clan Council that is standing right behind it, but what can this Warden actually get here? Is he going to try to charge this Warden deeper and grab that? Wait a second. Oh, he does pull out the Headhunters. Wait a second. He has to drop that rage. Needs to take them down. The Warden's getting slowed down. He is using the... Oh, he had to use a freeze spell there. Look at that.
Interesting decision there from Chin. Does use the freeze spell, but not until after the Grand Warden already got slowed down a little bit. He'll actually activate the Town Hall relatively early, and that's a pretty good play here from Chin. That Mega Inferno isn't going to be enough to finish off the Grand Warden, especially when he's raged up like this. That might even be a little bit of overkill from Chin, but nevertheless, that will be the Town Hall going down, and a jump spell deployed over here on the bottom left side to support this Queen, Yeti, and a few balloons coming on in as well. Catches a Seeking Air Mine there. Nice job to the Coconut Loon. Catches 2 Seeking Air Mines. Actually, that is a great result for Chen early on. This push is looking mighty and massive, Carbon.
Another Seeking Air Mine right there with the balloon. The King still got his ability, pops it finally. Out comes the Lava Hound, and some of the goblins gonna find the Tornado Trap, pushing his way, pops the Grand Warden Eternal Tome into the core of this base. There is the jump, does deploy a late wizard here to join up in the middle, but the Royal Champion is coming down trying to be behind these hogs, but she's getting targeted right now by that Archer Tower. Probably wanted to be able to save her health a little bit more. No more spells. It's going to come down to the timing of the Queen and Royal Champ ability. Woody, is he going to be able to have enough push to the backside of this?
I don't know. Well, 2 multi-target Infernos are going to be hard to deal with. The Royal Champion deals with one of them. She still has her ability, and so does the Archer Queen. That's going to be a lot of firepower on the backside. Take a look at that topside Expo, though. It's set to ground. It can deal a ton of damage. There's nothing really that can focus fire it out except for this last remaining Yeti. Can it get the job done and smack it away? And I think it will with that Expo down. We just have a lot of long-range troops that are left, but not a whole lot of time to get the cleanup down. We have a couple of healers on the top side that are trying their best to keep this Yeti in play, but as he goes down, they're going to have to swap back off to the Queen. This Queen is going to have a field day running through this base. There seems like there's nothing that can finish her off, but I don't think that she's got enough time to do the G, Carbon Fin.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, Queen's going to burn her ability here, and this is just going to be another one into the mid-80s, and not going to see a 3-star. Alternate attacks defenses are shining right here in the grand finals. Unbelievable with this Queen not going to be able to help take the rest of this base down. Time is not going to be on his side, has plenty of defenses and buildings up on the top side of this base, and is just going to try to approach as close to a 90% as possible. 87, 88, and finally the 80. Oh, just gonna wrap up 88% 2-star. And Banks, we have yet to see a 3-star from Darkest MuZhan.
It's true, Darkest MuZhan still trying to find that ever-elusive 3-star. It's proving to be pretty difficult. Alternate attacks are looking pretty comfortable for this win, but it's still anyone's game. As we've seen so far in this final, every single match, every single round that we've seen has been so tight, so different. We think they've been losing their nerve. We think they haven't been planning their attacks well. They haven't been going as planned. So it really is anyone's match still, but alternate attacks nudging ahead at the moment, right, Carbon?
Yes, absolutely. Our alternate attacks looking wonderful in this spot. And we have none other than Boom coming in for the final attacker of alternate attacks. Woody, he's deciding to go in with the Yeti Bobat.
A 3-star here would seal the deal and guarantee victory for ATN.aTTax. Is Boom, the MVP from this squad, the guy to get the job done. Moving in with the Yeti Bobat, like you mentioned there, Carbon. He's got a big task ahead of him. A really far spread out base is going to give him a marathon ahead of him. If he's going to finish this race, he'll be running for a long time. He's got to start this attack relatively early, or else he's going to have difficulty with the time fail, the same as many other attackers have had so far in this war.
Yeah, absolutely. The Grand Warden going to be used on the outside. We're talking about time. Needs to pull this Grand Warden away from the single target Inferno. Drop into boulders. Finally gets pulled over to the left side here. The King does have his ability. He's going to charge his way straight into the middle of the space here. And out comes the Clan Castle. Oh, look at this. We're going to see the blimp. He's going to try to time it. He pops the Grand Warden Child Tome. Hopefully this blimp can make it. Is it a little too early? Doesn't find any of the traps just yet. Still pushing his way to the Town Hall. And the boulders could be able to jump into the core if he's got any. Yep, there it is. And the Town Hall is looking to go down.
Very aggressive battle blimp here, going straight for the Town Hall, and the Warden's ability used really early on in this raid, but getting some great results from it, jumping on into the base. He's already got the first star down now, sends in the bats at the left side corner, and here they come streaming in, swarming the top side. Got to worry about that Wizard Tower, but freezes it at the perfect moment. Bats split up and are going to start to wail away at this base. A second free spell as well, Carbon Fin.
Oh, he used that freeze spell there, not at the right time. But wait, he pops the Queen ability perfectly to take the Wizard Tower down. That was what I was worried about because he didn't have another freeze for it.
He's got it!
Wow!
2 swag headhunters even holding on into this army camp space. Boom is so far ahead with so much time. There's nothing to stop him. ATN.aTTax are gonna get the golden ticket.
Wow, Boom coming in, pops that Queen ability to be sure to take down that Wizard Tower, and the Yeti Bobat, look, he's gonna swag these 2 headhunters, doesn't even need them. Beautiful job with the pressure on the line, going to clutch it up for ATN.aTTax. Unbelievable with everything there. Boom is the one to get it done.
Ready or not, here he comes. Boom for the triple has put ATN.aTTax far and ahead over their competition. There's no way to catch up at this point, and we now have our first team that will be going to the $1 million Clash of Clans World Championship Finals at the end of the year. Take a look at this replay, Carmen.
Yeah, just a perfect timing on the Grand Warden ability to get everything in the core. The blimp didn't find any sinking air mines from that area. He used some sneaky goblins, the Yetis, to take that Town Hall down. But we're still jumping right now into the final attack here for Darkest MuZhan of B, looking to go in with the hybrid with 1 headhunter as well.
One last attack to wrap up this first of the year qualifier. Darkest MuZhan won't go down without one more swipe at their opponents. Foes on the other side already cheering and celebrating as their victory has been guaranteed, but B will give us one more showing of how hybrid can deal damage in the new meta. Keep an eye out for this guy. You're going to be seeing a lot more of Darkest MuZhan later this year. I am absolutely sure of it. An amazing squad that reached the finals and have earned a lot of respect from the competitive scene.
Absolutely. That just shows you ATN.aTTax losing their very first war here in the qualifiers has what it takes, sets their minds, and they knew that they could make that comeback from the lower bracket, and they deserved it right here to be promoted. But we're seeing B coming in to try to push this Queen towards this bottom side potentially. I mean, the blimp did come up there, did take out the Clan Castle, has 1 super wall breaker to potentially charge this Queen towards that scatter shot, because if this Queen walks anywhere past that, the scatter shot could be at risk for taking those healers out. Yep, uses a super wall breaker just to charge the Queen right into there, and potentially we're going to probably see the hybrid go in for, unless the Queen gets out of this compartment here. Wait a second. Oh, she's going to go for that scatter. She might go to the Tesla here.
B catches the Sam and will send in the freeze spell there to shut down that Inferno and the Expo, but these Expos set to ground indicate that Ast acknowledges this base might be a little bit weak to the sort of hybrid army, instead trying to counterbalance that with this long-range ground-based defense. Archer Queen will lock onto the Town Hall now, finishing that off, gets the first star, and wow, she's approaching the second star too before the main phase of this attack has even begun. Here it comes though from the top left side at the 11 o'clock position. The Grand Warden will be protecting these Hog Riders as they pass through the base. Single target Infernos are no trouble for them whatsoever. The Queen has already done her job at the bottom. Great job there, but I'm a little bit worried that these healers are not going to be able to swap off. Queen is about to engage another single target Inferno, and that's going to be at the end of her run on the bottom.
Yeah, he's got the whole push coming in from the top side here. Did already pop that Grand Warden ability, has one more heal to use, but this scatter shot, oh, the healer's sitting right on top of the scatter shot, so the healer can't even get hit by it. Wow, it's just hiding there. Well, actually, there's two of them. Finds a Seeking Air Mine, drops that final heal spell here with the World Champion, some balloons. It looks like he's going to have just enough to get this one done. A very nice attack to close it, but unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough for their team in the end here.
Yeah, first showing in a 3-star performance. B at the very end puts an exclamation point on this war. Darkest MuZhan have really done their best, but came up short against an alternate attack squad with so many amazing base layouts that frustrated a squad from Darkest MuZhan that had really picked up pace today, earning 14 stars in their semifinal match, but coming away with just 11 this time. Banks?
An unfortunate turn of events for Darkest MuZhan. B doing an extremely good job of closing out that map for Darkest MuZhan. However, it is ATN.aTTax who are going to be taking that golden ticket into the finals at the end of the year for their chance to win the majority of the prize pool of $1 million. Congratulations to ATN.aTTax, my MVP for that match, and for the and for this qualifier itself. For me, it's got to be boom from ATN.aTTax. I mean, only not being able to triple one of his attacks in this entire weekend. What about you, Carbon?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming in clutch to put the nail in the coffin right there for Boom's attack with the pressure on the line. We did see a triple come in from Darkest MuZhan at the very end there, but still well-deserved to ATN.aTTax. They lost the very first war there and had enough to come all the way back. A lot of clans that would have put them in a really bad mindset, but not ATN.aTTax. They showed it right there.
Thanks everyone for checking out the show. We're really glad to be back on the air and excited to work with Supercell, which gives us a chance to continue casting events even during this pandemic. Really excited to be back and hope to see you again next month. Thanks, Ben.
Exactly, Woody. Nice one. Exactly. So I'm going to really quickly throw you over to our resident expert, Judo, to break down that last final. Judo?
Yes, it was incredible, Banks, wasn't it? I wanted to showcase Yo-Yo 23. For me, one of the MVPs. Starting off with the lightning spells to the center of the base, alternates the attack with the lightning spells onto the second sweeper as well, taking out the entire core of the base. Incredible stuff. We don't need to explain why he is often given the nickname Lalo 23, setting up this attack beautifully. The Ice Golem and Valkyrie coming in to support the King and the Royal Champion from each angle to allow the Queen to beeline towards the Town Hall. Such an amazing start, and as Carbon mentioned, the Royal Champion had an added bonus of getting the second scatter shot. So in terms of this attack, just putting it in perspective for you guys, normally we talk about the scatter shots, the Clan Castle, the Town Hall, and the Eagle. There's only the Eagle Artillery left after the Queen takes down this Town Hall. Just incredible. And he's not finished yet. Starting out the Lalo portion, this is where he really shines. With the Lava Loon and the Stone Slammer, we mentioned the Stone Slammer, in order to protect the balloons itself. And he uses this down to the 6 o'clock area as well. Now what it allows is for the balloons to clump over that final defense that we talked about, the final dangerous one in that of the Eagle Artillery. Grand Warden's ability can go off after that as the balloons split, but in terms of top play as well, sending in extra balloons around the base, he really came in clutch to get ATN.aTTax the first 3-star, and what an incredible performance it was from there, getting that first golden ticket. I can't believe what an incredible weekend of Clash we have had, Banks.
Thank you, Judo. Yes, we have our first winner of the golden ticket. ATN.aTTax will be going through to the finals at the end of the year to battle it out against the best in the business for that $1 million prize pool. What an absolutely magnificent display. And there we have it, the final time this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to Carbon, Woody, and Judo for all your hard work, and to the production team for all of your efforts. That's it, we have our first golden ticket winner, and you could be too. By signing up to ESL Play or by qualifying in the in-game Clan War League, you could be joining ATN.aTTax in the end of the year in this final. So, my name is Banks, and I will see you in a month for the next qualifier.